Yes, can you hear my voice?
Sir, आवाज आ रहा है
Yes,
सर.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm in a very mixed position in our lab, so try to cope up with the situation. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just
Thank you, sir. Roll number 1. भगत सर आता बायोडायरेक्ट कोणाकडे आहे?
सर मीच वाचतो, एक मिनिट थांबा फक्त मी
Yes,
प्रिंट
read
काढतो.
करा. Yes, yes. Okay, sir.
प्रिंट मारतो, एक मिनिट. कारण त्यांचे काहीतरी टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लेम असतात.
हो ठीक आहे. चालू करा तुम्ही. सर जॉईन झाले त्याच्यावर. येस.
मॅडम तुमच्या झालं ना?
मॅमचा टेक्निकल इश्यू आहे. मॅम म्हणजे तुम्ही चालू करून द्या.
मी करतो लगेच सर, एकच मिनिट.
हो, yes.
प्रिंट मार.
सर आपको बैक स्क्रीन से हटना पड़ेगा. नहीं है क्या? Yes, is it fine? I mean, am I audible and visible?
Yes, sir.
Is my presentation visible?
Yes,
Sir.
And
yes, roll number 1.
Just wait minutes. Wait. Just minutes.
good evening, everyone. All those present in the session, and regards to all at the organizing committee. I am Professor Architect Abraham Pathrose, Professor of Practice in MGM.
I am audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, are you audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I am Professor Architect Abraham Pathrose from Department of Architecture, and I'm an additional faculty with an additional charge to School of Design, teaching BDes and MDes for interior design students. And my short brief is that all through the past, I had been working in the field of heritage conservation by traveling across the nation. And that was a passion turned into career, you can say. And to give you a short recap is that in 1995-96, as a student, I documented the gates of Aurangabad, that is the ancient gates, based on which the city was titled as City of Gates Aurangabad. That was my topic of dissertation, which the city has got. And that is today a key word and a question in general knowledge books in UPSC and MPSC exams and all. So that's a very small contribution. And the title of Professor of Practice has been initiated by me with UGC in 2021, after which I was titled as Professor of Practice in Jan 2022. So this is a short brief, and then reaching back to the subject topic. Today we are going to take up the cave architecture of India, and especially my focus will be on the rocket caves of Aurangabad district. So the site which you see in front of you on the slide is a Chaitya, and the Chaitya is completely an ornate structure, which is the prayer hall for the Buddhist, and this is from the rocket caves. So I'll just move ahead with the historical relevance in the brief because we have short of time in 1.5 hours. The slide contents are more. Coming back to the origin of rocket caves, which is something very important. You can see a small sketch in front of you on the right hand side. when you see how various forms of art were evolved. Now, when you pass by different places like the gate of Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada Vidyapeeth and other universities, you will understand that how the form, the profile, and all have evolved. This is a reason how the sketches have evolved in the Sanchi, the entrance of Sanchi Stupa and all. So coming to the literature part, origin of cave architecture. Caves in India have been regarded with reverence since time immemorial. The most primitive caves were the natural ones that were used to for different reasons by natives of such areas as places of worship and shelters. Facts supported by data indicate employment and modifications of such caves since the Mesolithic period, that is 6000 BC. Rocker designs carved on overhanging rocks from the early examples of architectural craftsmanship of human being on such structures. The arrival of Buddhist missionaries saw use of such natural caves as Varshavatar, and that was places of dwelling during rainy season and also as temples during, enabling them to lead a monastic life in accordance with the aesthetic nature of Buddhism. Caves excavated out of colossal rocks gradually evolved because of their durability in comparison to their construction material such as wood, and with time these structures became more enhanced and richer architecturally. So the basic purpose of these caves were that they were all built for multi-purpose reasons. If you talk about multi-purpose reasons, the prime of them being the trade and meditation and prayers. So when these structures were built, the trade was quite common and it was much more in existence. Like if you go for the caves of Ajanta, you will find even the paintings of Huen Sang. And Huen Sang is a Chinese trader whose paintings are there in Ajanta caves, which clearly indicates that there was a great connect between the coastal line to different countries. If you go for the caves of Pitalkhora, you will find the paintings of King Alexander. So these were the manner in which how artists traveled from one region to another, and they were much practiced. If you go for the hills of Sayadri, you will find different caves tried and practiced in different regions. But then the quality of the rock was much more important for them. When the quality of rock was not fine, they kept on moving from one to another. So you'll find incomplete caves in all these locations of the hills. And finally, when you reach back to the sites of Ajanta, Ellora, and Aurangabad caves, including the ones in Pitalkhora, you will find that the quality of rocks were good and they have gone ahead with lot of rock-cut caves in that particular region. Moving to the next slide. Early examples of rock-cut architecture are the Buddhist monasteries and Hindu temples. The acaistic nature of these religions inclined their followers to live in natural caves in the hillsides, which became embellished over time. Embellished means ornament. It is ornate. Although many temples, monasteries, and stupas had been destroyed, cave temples are very well preserved as they are both less visible, inaccessible at their heights, and therefore less vulnerable to vandalism, as well as made of more durable material than wood and masonry. So here, generally, as you all know, being students of various subjects and professors and practicing teachers, I would like to convey to you that as the buildings are generally built from ground to top, these rock-cut caves, unlike routine buildings, are built from top to bottom. This basic philosophy is known to all, because if you go from down to top, then the stone or the rocks and the pieces will fall on their head. That is one major reason. There are around 1200 cave temples still in existence, most of which are Buddhist. So this is how the caves were built, and the structures were multiple all across the nation. The residences of monks were called viharas, and the cave shrines were called chaityas. So where they used to reside, they used to stay, they were the viharas, and the ones where they were praying, they were called the chaityas, where for congregational worship. The earliest rocket Garbhagriha, similar to freestanding ones later, had an inner circular chamber with pillars to create a circumambulatory path, that is pradakshina. when you take a pradakshina all around the stupa. Around the stupa and an outer rectangular hall for the congregation of devotees, a monastery, vihar or vihara, and with its square hall surrounded by monk cells. They are the small cells which are called as the viharas, adjoining the chaityas, as you see in cave number 4. The Ajanta caves in Maharashtra, a World Heritage Site, are 30 rock-cut cave Buddhist temples carved into the sheer vertical side of a gorge near the waterfall-fed pool located in the hills of Sahyadri Mountains. So here you see that altogether in the first UNESCO World Heritage Site, which was declared in 1983, the second UNESCO World Heritage Site was Red Fort, and then came back to Ellora. So in the city of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, which is the renamed name, that is Aurangabad erstwhile, there are many structures which relate to this nature of architecture, but then the prominent UNESCO World Heritage Sites are Ajanta and Ellora. Like all the locations of Buddhist caves, this one is located near main trade routes and spans 6 centuries, beginning in the 2nd century BC period. Of intense building activity at this site occurred under the Vakataka king Harisena. A profuse variety of decorative sculpture, intricately carved columns and carved reliefs are found, including exquisitely carved cornices and pilaster. Skilled artisans crafted living rock to imitate timbered wood such as lintels in construction and grain and intricate decorative carving, although such architectural elements were ornamental and not functional in the classical sense. So you see that these nature of work and these nature of detailings were much more into practice, and they had to be just practiced in multiple areas and in different forms. Later, many Hindu kings from southern India patronized many cave temples dedicated to Hindu gods and goddesses. One such prominent example of cave temple architecture are the Badami cave temples at Badami, the early Chalukya capital carved out in 6th century. So these are the form in which lot many styles and forms and profiles started moving from one place to another. And you can see in Karnataka, in this particular region of Maharashtra, you go to Elephanta caves of Bombay or to some other regions, you will find like Karla and Bhaja caves. Many such structures have come up in the course of time. I'll just get back to the next slide. There are 4 caves, temples chiseled from the sides of cliffs. These are Hindu Jain and contain carved architectural elements such as decorative pillars, brackets, as well as finely carved sculptures, which need to be ceiling panels. Nearby are many small Buddhist cave shrines. So this is how the development of cave architecture took place. And in this, you can see the complete hilly terrain in which these caves are standing. And this carving out is very difficult, very tough, but then the kind of skill they all possessed, the manner in which they went through the work, the art and architecture was intricate. The plans of this you can see. These are the halls and rooms within. This is the plan, the aerial view, and then the rooms getting inside and the viharas deep inside. Coming back to the history of caves, the cave architecture in India is believed to have begun during the ancient time. These caves used to be Buddhist and Jain monks as places of worship and residence. Initially, the caves were excavated in the western in India. Some examples of this type of cave structure are chaityas and viharas of Buddhist caves. Caves of Bhimbetka, Karla, Bhaja, Kaneri, Elephanta, Pandavleni, Ajanta, Ellora, Pitalkhora, Badami, Mahakali, Bagh caves, Aurangabad caves are few of the most visited caves in India. Most of them house great chaityas and viharas, were excavated by hewing out the rocks. So these are some of the prominent ones which you in generally see. These are the details how these particular caves across the nation flourished and the nature of key points which they possess. If you go for the major ones in India, Ajanta caves in Aurangabad, Maharashtra, which has got around 30 caves located in Sahyadri Hill ranges. It is 2-floored. There are 2 layers of levels in them. Ellora caves, again in the same city, has got around 34 caves. Cave number 1 to 12 are Buddhist caves, 13 to 30 are Hindu caves, and 31 to 34 are the Jain temples, the Jain caves. Triple storied at certain areas. Elephanta Caves, Mumbai, Maharashtra, are the origin in 5th century to 11th century CE. Prominent attraction is Trimurti idol, in which there are Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, the three idols facing and sculpted out of one rock. The three faces of Lord Shiva as Aghori, Ardhanarishwara, and Mahayogi. So these are again regarded as the three faces, and at the same time the same regarded also as Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Karla Cave, that is in Lonavala, Pune, Maharashtra, that is 2200 BC, largest Chaityagraha. It has the largest Chaityagraha. It is in the outskirts of Bombay and outskirts of Pune. Almost all Buddhist monuments in India. Kaneri Caves, that is in Mumbai, Maharashtra, second largest Chaityagraha in India. Bhaja Caves, Pune, Maharashtra, which is of Hinayana faith, has a wooden ceiling over Chaityagraha. Pandarlini Caves in Nasik, Maharashtra again. It is of 1st century, that is century era, and which has got 24 Buddhist caves belonging to Hinayana period of Buddhist architecture. These are some of the key prominent ones. Proceeding to Madhya Pradesh, we have wonderful Bhimbetka caves and the Bagh caves, which originates in Gwalior. The Bagh caves are in Gwalior, and they are originating from the 6th century. Gupta period, that is a total of 9 sandstone Buddhist caves. There are fresco artworks and sculptures in them, where lot many paintings and artworks which are intricate with their natural colors, natural material, no artificial elements used. They're all colors taken out of the leaves, the flowers, the petals, the stone, the soil of different region. Mahakali caves of Mumbai, that is in Maharashtra, having 19 caves excavated during 200 BC to 600 AD. This is the period of their excavation. Badami caves in Karnataka. These temples represent Indian rocket architecture, particularly a temple building architectural style that developed during the 5th to 8th centuries, known as Badami Chalukyan architecture. Bhimbetka caves, Bhojpur, Raisen, MP, that is in Madhya Pradesh. Very well, much visited prehistoric cave temples, which spans to prehistoric Paleolithic and Mesolithic period. Pitalkhora caves in Kannada, Maharashtra, which has got 14 caves and originates from the 3rd century. So now coming back to the form and profile of different areas, like if I take Ajanta as an example here, this is Waghora River, and moving to the layout and the plan, this is how the pillared halls are. Inside pillared halls, then you go deep inside. This is the place which is the sanctum sanctorum and houses the idol of Lord Buddha. So the viharas on the side, and on this particular area, you can see all these small rooms where the monks used to rest and used to at the same time spend the day's time after the schedule, and then they used to go for their routine work, which even included educational classes, meditation, services, and lot many other activities from their routine time. Significance of rock cut caves. When you come, these caves of ancient and medieval ages give us a glance of different architectural styles of different periods and religions. The relics, motifs, murals, and sculptures of the caves not only enlighten us with a lot of information of those ancient times, giving us an impression of various traditions, customs, and lifestyles followed by the inhabitants, but also illustrate considerable accomplishment with regard to structural engineering and artistry of those times, thus attracting thousands of tourists and architectural enthusiasts round the year. If you go for these structures, you will understand that there are a lot many tourists who come all across the globe, regardless of the religion and faith. Of course, those belonging to the Buddhist faith, those belonging to the Jain and Hindu faith. But apart from that, so many foreigners come to see this engineering marvel all across the globe, which is spread. And it is much commonly regarded as the engineering marvels of that era and that period, behind which there are a lot of myths and stories that how could a man or human sculpt such a big mass of rock, whereas those period, those era, men were that sincere, that hardworking, that dedicated, that they could really sculpt out these structures. So coming to the very like very unique form, which is very balanced, symmetrical by all means, it is again the Chaityas. Chaityas is a prayer hall. It has pillars on side of the passage or a pathway leading to a stupa. Of course, since it is a prayer hall, it may contain stupas. The stupas generally contain relics of Lord Buddha and are venerated and worshipped. Viharas are technically means of abode, that is the place to stay. Here you see certain structure of ribs. Whenever I take my students and even some people to these chaityas, I always mention them that look at these structures. They look like ribs like a bone cage. So when you structure a bone cage and then there's a spine in the middle and then the brain on the top, it is just like our human body or any skeletal form of an animal, that the top line is brain and then the rest is the skeletal form. How well that spine, which is the nervous system of the body, controls the entire meditative system. So this is how the viharas and chaityas are aligned. You can see here in Ajanta, this is the profile. There is a place called Junnar near Narsik. Again, there are some smaller caves. This is the form of chaitya there. Again, then Kaneri. This is the structure and the profile here. This is of Karla, that is near Mumbai. Again, the viharas, which are having very small doors. I hope some of you have been into these sites and you have experienced how they look and how they are. May I have it from you, any of you who have already been to, of course, those who are residing in certain cities close to Aurangabad and all, they might have visited. I would like to know from you, any of you who have visited rocket caves in your age till now? Excuse me?
No, sir.
I only get to the Aurangabad caves and Vedura caves.
Okay, you have been to Ajanta and Ellora caves.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, what was your experience when you went there?
It is the symbol of excellent architecture, design, engineering.
Right, right. So you can understand by visiting. The first and foremost thing, did you find peace when you visited these sites?
A lot of people are there, so that's why the people, I try to find out the
Peace in the sense, I don't mean the crowd moving around. When you are within the caves, did you experience solace, peace,
Yes,
and
sir.
harmony within yourself?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, that is the beauty of it. I'll tell you, like to
There is a positive energy of vibes, sir.
Yes, yes, there are a lot of positive energy points. I would like to convey that the moment I have taken I've conducted a small experiment for students of Department of Tourism and even for students of architecture and all. Like there are some caves wherein the moment you go and sit below your spine, there is a step which is only 6 inches to 8 inches. That is your L4 and L5 of your body. The moment you are seated in line as you're seated for a class, very soon you are in a meditative posture. You are completely in, as you say, that in within yourself, and you are in a complete solace with yourself. And that is possible when you are in places like this. The temperature there is very ambient. You don't feel hot when it is extreme hot out, and though the steps are making you climb and all, of course you perspire and all that, because we people in today's time, our physical abilities are not at par with the people who built those who sculpted them. They were meditative. They knew how to manage their body, their schedule, their time, their daily system. But then with us, that is all a mix and match. So those days, as you always tell my students, that the rishis, the munis, and the saints, they used to leave their body when they want to leave their body. In our time, we are surviving each moment and each day to survive. It is the other way around. So their existence was for some better purpose. They used to perform prayers in time. They used to meditate in time. They used to have the food in time. They used to go to bed in time. They had nothing like what we have today, is all distracting gadgets and all. So life was complete different, and we people are nowhere close to them. I mean, though many of some of our generation people also have accepted to give up worldly things and go for meditation, go for prayers, but very uncommon practice, because once you are part of the worldly life, things doesn't go as you wish and as you want to. I mean, that's the gist of the entire present time existence. So getting back to the viharas, residential quarters for monks for resting with rock cut seats. There are seats in rock cut Even the beds are in rock cut and the benches. I have tried once, even there is a small pillow, there is a small slope they have created, wherein it is in the pillow form. The difference between your shoulder and your ears, that much part is the step of that particular cushion. Provided you are lying down on one side, your head and your spine and your skull's size should not be anywhere disturbing. It is that comfortable. Vihara is the Sanskrit and the Pali term for a Buddhist monastery. It originally meant a secluded place in which to walk and refer to dwellings or refuge used by wandering monks during the rainy seasons. So one thing we should understand is that these structures were built for, of course, for meditation. At the same time, these were resting places for all these monks wherein they used to gather. They used to trade with nearby places. And when these structures were built on a higher level, they used to always be secure from the wild animals across. Stupas, a stupa in Sanskrit is a heap, that is a gathering, is a mounded like a hemispherical structure containing relics that is used as a place of meditation. Temple with worship place, assembly hall along with its central area housing stupas, a dome shape during erected, a building erected as a Buddhist shrine. This is, we have already gone through it in the previous slide, so let us not focus on this. We'll move further to the other details. These are how the missionaries arrived from one place to another and they created their own impression. When Buddhist missionaries arrived, they naturally sculpted these marvelous caves for use as temples and abodes as per the religious ideas of monastic life. The Western Ghats, especially of Maharashtra, topography with its flat top basalt hills, deep ravines, and sharp cliffs was suited to their cultural aspects. The earliest of Kaneri caves were excavated in the 1st and 2nd century BC. Now we are talking about BC, that is before Christ. And even if you go for Ajanta caves, they are also getting back to 2nd BC. As were those of Ajanta, which were occupied continuously by Buddhist monks from 200 BC to 650 AD. So this is the era, I mean the centuries. Again, as the Buddhist ideology encouraged involvement in trade, monasteries often became stopovers for inland traders and provided lodging houses along trade routes. As mercantile and royal endowments grew, cave interiors became more elaborate, with interior walls decorated with paintings, reliefs, and intricate carvings. Facades were added to the exteriors while the interiors became designated for specific uses such as monasteries, viharas, that is the areas where they used to stay, the reside, like today we call it lodging, and worship halls, those are chaityas and the prayer halls. Over the centuries, simple caves began to resemble freestanding buildings, needing to be formally designed and requiring highly skilled artisans and craftsmen to compete. These artisans had not forgotten their timber roots and imitated the nuances of a wooden structure and the wood grain in working with stone. So whatever they had in their farm, their lifestyle, their routine, they used to always try to imitate the same in their sculpture form. That was the memory and the thought process of that particular individual monk or the sculptor. So this is a short brief of the chart. When getting back to the, as I said, with emphasis on rocket caves of Aurangabad. Here we have Ajanta caves, origin is 2nd century, 30 caves. The region where it is located is Fardapur and represents Buddhist caves and the faith. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is the district, it is Aurangabad. In Ellora caves, it is from 6th to 13th century AD. 34 caves are there. And Ellora, the taluka itself where it is located is Ellora in Aurangabad district. The Buddhist caves are 1 to 12, Hindu caves are 14 to 30, and Jain caves are 31 to 34. Again, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Pitalkora caves are 3rd century BC, and 14 caves in Kannad village, and again in Aurangabad district, Buddhist caves, and again a national protected monument with Archaeological Survey of India. The Aurangabad caves, again a site which is very close to the main city of Aurangabad, is behind Bibika Maqbara, which is also called as the Taj of Deccan, and that is from 2nd to 8th century AD. There are 12 caves on the east and west line of it. Again, it has a chaitya, and the city is Aurangabad, the district, same Buddhist sculptures, and it is again a national protected monument. So this is a tabular chart This is the complete horseshoe and the aerial view, the panoramic view of Ajanta caves and the top line. Now looking at this, you can make out that even if we do any nature of water protection to the caves, you see these are the caves here. These very small lines you see are the caves here, and they stretch completely from one end to another. This is a horseshoe shape. This is the Vagora River in the down. Now you see there is a big hill and plateau on top. So even if I undergo any nature of waterproofing or protection to the paintings, Ajanta is more known for sculptures and painting. Of course, Ellora also has got paintings, but then the prominent majority and the dominance of painting is much more in Ajanta caves than in Ellora. So this is the aerial view from the viewpoint. This is complete horseshoe shape, showcasing the entire caves in this side. And anyhow, this entire presentation I'll share with the concerned authorities and staff, so you can always utilize them for your study material. Again, this is another angle of that particular view. I mean, the same view of it. These are the caves located here. I've just turned the slide upside down, and this is the small bridge, the river Vagora here, and entire the waterfall. And the north is this side, diagonally downwards, north is this side. And these are all pillars. Now here you can see the cave has got musical pillars with double-story caves. These are Hinayana Chaityagrahas. Then again the Hinayana sites. Here it comes to Mahayana period. That is the Mahayana periods, and this is the Hinayana sites. So you can understand the manner in which they were developed in the course of time. This is a line sketch. Now this is the complete pictorial representation of the cave, which makes the site much more prominent in looks. And here you see there are some works which are done by the department. Now, if you talk about this particular line, for protection, they have built a small, the new modern methodology construction. And these are the people. You can compare the human scale and the caves. And this is the Chaitya, where you can see the cliff, its terrain, and entire line, how they are built very marvelously. Very difficult to build, because the moment you go for the symmetry, the moment you go for this design, the sculpture work, there are great possibilities that these rocks may fall on your head. So there is proper scaffolding and security to be created, and only after that such activities could be carried out. And the most beautiful part is that this particular nature of sites, they are very balanced, very symmetrical, very embellished, ornate, and wherein on a piece of paper we can always do repetitions, but on a piece of such stone and rock, there is no chance of repetition. So we have to be very focused while we are executing such work. So you can see this. Again, I would like to know from you, your end, that any of you, apart from sir who mentioned just now, I think anyone of you who have visited this particular region? Okay, those who are in the town, of course. So before I forget, I would like to convey a message to you through this particular session, that I would like to invite you all to the town and come and allow us to give a chance to take you around and showcase these caves, so that this class which we are undergoing as a theoretical presentation session class, will make it a live class for a day, wherein if you stay and are put up here for 2 days, then we can cover Ajanta and Ellora caves properly, along with even Ellora Aurangabad caves. So that is one like contribution from my side, which I can make best for the learning process of you wonderful teachers who are going to further educate your children in the later times. Practical field visits do help a lot. So that is one very key part of education system. The more you travel, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you can share with your next generation. Coming back to the focus of Ajanta caves, as you saw the horseshoe plan, the Ajanta caves are, again, we have gone through this, but though it's a repetition, I would like to take it because it highlights some specific areas. The Ajanta caves are 30 rock-cut Buddhist cave monuments which date from 2nd century BC to about 480 CE in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra state of India. The caves include paintings and rock-cut sculptures described as among the finest surviving examples of ancient Indian art, particularly expressive paintings that present emotions through posture. Now, this painting is of Padmapani, so you can experience the kind of gesture and the postures and form. They are universally regarded as masterpieces of Buddhist religious art. The caves were built in two phases, the first starting around 2nd century BC and the second occurring from 400 to 650 CE, that is century era. That is, we present day we address it as BCE and CE, that is BC and AD. So 400 to 650 AD, according to older accounts, or in a brief period of 460 to 480 century era, according to the later scholarship. The site is a protected monument in the care of Archaeological Survey of India, and since 1983, the Ajanta caves have been a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Ajanta cave constitute ancient monasteries and worship halls of different Buddhist traditions carved into a 75-meter, that is 246 feet wall of rock. That is that high, the cliff. Very difficult to administer. If you talk about your house, one floor of the house might be 10 feet. Now consider this as more than 24 feet. It is that high structure on the cliff of which these caves have been sculpted out. The caves also present paintings depicting the past lives and rebirths of Lord Buddha, pictorial tales from Arisura's Jatakamala, and rock-cut sculptures of Buddhist deities. The phases, that are two main phases on periods of development, that is early phase, which is called as Hinayana period, which has 5 caves including prayer halls, Chaitagras and monasteries, including the viharas. The later phase, which we call as Vakataka, the Gupta period, are having the 25 caves. So this is how the caves are separated or counted. The textural record suggests that these caves served as monsoon retreat for monks as well as a resting site for merchant and pilgrims in ancient India. While vivid colors and mural wall paintings were abundant in Indian history, as evidenced by historical records, cave number 16, 17, 1 and 2. Now they are mentioned as per the sequence. Otherwise, it could have been 1, 2, 16 and 17. Of Ajanta form the largest corpus of surviving ancient Indian wall painting. The Ajanta caves are mentioned in the memoirs of several medieval era Chinese Buddhist travelers to India. Again, I'll repeat that. The Ajanta caves are mentioned in the memoirs of several medieval era Chinese Buddhist travelers to India and by a Mughal era official of Akbar era in the early 17th century. So in their documents also, Ajanta caves are still mentioned because they used to often travel this site. They were covered by jungle until accidentally discovered and brought to Western attention in 1819 by a colonial British officer, Captain John Smith, on a tiger hunting. So he went for tiger hunting, and that is when he saw the cliff and he made the soil to be removed in 1819. Until then, the entire cave of Ajanta caves got filled by earth and it was completely covered. It was earth, and slowly it was sculpted out. And even in the present time hills, if we go, there might be many more caves which are still not explored, which is again a duty of the generation next to do and perform. The caves are in the rocky northern wall of U-shaped gorge. Gorge is the complete ghat of the river Waghur we call, in the Deccan Plateau. Within the gorge are number of waterfalls audible from outside the caves when the river is high. So when the rainfall is much, the river isn't full, there is even the audibility of the waterfall can be heard from far distance. With the Ellora caves, Ajanta is one of the major tourist attractions of Maharashtra. It is about 6 kilometers, that is near Fardapur. There is a village Fardapur near Ajanta, which is again 59 kilometers from city of Jalgaon and 104 kilometers from the main city of Aurangabad and 350 kilometers from Mumbai, that is in the northeast side of it. Ajanta is 100 kilometers from Ellora caves, which contains Hindu, Jain, Buddhist caves, the last dating from similar period of Ajanta. The Ajanta style is also found in the Ellora caves and other sites such as Elephanta caves, Aurangabad caves, Shivleni caves, and cave temples of Karnataka. So this is the similarity which is very much popular. You can see that there's a connect between one and another. Coming back to the previous slide, you can see the idol of Lord Buddha placed here. The paintings on the ceiling, which are the fresco art, and the ceiling completely prepared with a stucco plaster. Stucco means जिसमें चूना, गुड़, मेथी, कड़वा, बेल का फल, इन सब का एक traditional composition होता था, and that has been prepared first, and on that sheen and fine base, this color painting and the ornamental painting is done. This is a far view of the cave number 19 of Ajanta. You can see the sculptures in the wall panels, very cleanly cut the rectangular impressions and the arch on top, and the entrance and the pillars, the massive pillars, a bit bulbous on top with a different profile, and again the idols on the sides. They're still standing good. These are some murals and paintings. I mean, the fresco art rather. The murals are the outer is on the outer wall. Inner areas are sculptures and fresco art. Presently, it is illuminated to give the three-dimensional effect to the ceiling. And this entire painting is either floral, life history, or of the ministry, the apsaras, the gods and goddesses, deities, all of them are sculpted out and painted at the same time. The ornate sculptures of gods and goddesses in the ministry. Again, the plan of cave number 4 and 16 here. These are the ancient plan which has been documented during the early times of the British existence. And further, when Britishers left, they gave up all their drawings, and the Archaeological Survey of India of our nation was formulated, which has got different circles, and it is controlled by certain offices. Even Bombay, Nagpur, Goa were all under Aurangabad circle, but later, as the course of time, staff, works, tourists, and other responsibilities started increasing. They have been separated now to Bombay circle is different, now Nagpur circle is different, and Aurangabad circle is different. These are the plans, though the rooms you see a bit oblong, they are like that. They are not straight, possibly because of the nature of rock, and even the water, sometimes it finds a way. As you dig your well, you find that water comes out. So there are times when even the water has to be administered. So this is another part of the cave with the Chaityas. Cave number 9 and 10 are amongst the old pre-Vakataka Satvahanas, that is the Chaityas, which are centrally placed where apsidal colonnade marking the circumambulatory route around a large stupa position at their ends. So it is completely a reverse form of the columns. So there is a circumambulatory, this is the Pradakshina, and this is, you can consider this part as a sanctum sanctorum and taking Pradakshina as you do for a shivling, and then you go around it. Cave number 9 and 10. Now here this is cave number 19, which you saw, and this is outer profile, a sectional elevation of the entire cave. A hill area, the terrain, this part is completely hill. You can see grass and all here, and this particular main entrance. Again, this is cave number 26. So such different profiles, like all the caves have different detailings. Again, another Chaitya. So this is the taxonomy of the structures, how they went from one to another, how the development took place, and how they are in comparison to with each other. Like each caves, how they are different from each other. This is a taxonomical variation and the developments. You can see the sculpture and the ornamental floral motifs and patterns, the complete circular part projecting out from the wall as if it is built. And again, generally when we make a building, we come from 0 to 100. So here the entire mass of rock is 100%. From 100%, I have to go deep inside. I mean, I don't have to come from the wall panel projecting out. I cannot do that. So from outside, I have to carve inwards. So it is a full mass from which I'm going minus. It is not plus, it is minus. When we build a new building in these times, we make plus. We build, we keep on adding. We cast the column, foundation, beams, and then our building is ready. In this time, the hill was already in existence, and then they have to go minus, and which is a very complex way of working. So here you see the panels where the different forms of meditation has been sculpted out here. Form and profile of an elephant on his knees. the prayerful postures. Even when the elephant is in that posture, elephant is in a prayerful posture. So these are some inner areas. Again, we are with Ajanta caves. This is the floral pattern of birds. So these are birds here, and the entire petals and foliage deep inside. These all colors, what you see, are natural, but these patches, the paintings went poor, and the department has done some conservation work so as to hold them long. Though we know that everything on this earth is perishable by the course of time, but what best we can do is we can retain them for the maximum time in the coming era. Again, the inner aisle of circumambulatory, that is the Pradakshina, and the stupa in the middle, and the pillars, and you can see the ornamental work, the balance, the symmetry, the capitals, the shaft, and the base. They all have to be balanced. Then only the superstructure, that is, it has to support the entire hill. So from the hill, we are carving out this much mass. So of course, the structure will get weak, but at the same time, engineering wise, they have to understand that the structure of the hill shall not collapse. So imagine the time they are standing from more than 2000 years, and still they are strong. Lot many tourists are visiting and witnessing the marvel. So cave number 9, 10, 19, 26, and 29 in the Ajanta caves are the complex Chaityagrahas, that is Buddhist prayer halls, containing a stupa. Cave number 9 and 10 are from the early period, while caves 19 and 26 are from the later period of construction. So this is how there are these many Chaityagrahas, under which the prominent ones, the early ones, are from cave number 9 and 10. So this is the posture of sleeping Buddha. Again, in the previous one, sorry to get back, you can see this complete line of Pradakshina and the top ceiling of that and the ribs above. They have been completely sculpted in a manner as if the deities are witnessing the prayer happening. They all are blessing. They are the angels. They are the gods and goddesses blessing the entire prayer which is happening and being performed by the performers of the monks. So this is the posture of sleeping Buddha. Again, the ministry and the people, the guards, the members of the ministry, the close ones are all sculpted beneath. Now we are, after Ajanta caves, we are heading to Ellora caves, which is, now this one which you see is Kailash temple, the much renowned, the popular, the much more regarded. And if you go for certain study, you will understand that they even study that this is the epicenter of the earth, the axial center of earth, where Kailash temple has been sculpted out. Again, the thumb on sides, there are two pillars like this, and this is in the form of a rath. Kailash temple is in the form of a complete chariot. Again, when you get back to Ellora caves, these 34 monasteries and temples extending over more than 2 kilometers were dug side by side in the wall of a high basalt cliff, not far from the main city of Aurangabad in Maharashtra. Ellora, the river there is named as Ale River. Ale is the Nadi and the Ale is the name of the king also, on which Ellora village is there. Ellora, with its uninterrupted sequence of monuments dating from AD 600 to 1000, brings the civilization of ancient India to life. Not only is the Ellora complex a unique artistic creation and a technological exploit, but with its sanctuaries devoted to Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism, it illustrates the spirit of tolerance that was characteristic of ancient India. So this is how today, in the time when we are into political differences, this particular entire cave structure is much more a great example that how to live in harmony with each other, how to be united, how to perform your own faith with freedom for another, freedom of thought, freedom of survival. That is much more important. So this is a far view of Kailash temple. You can see the two pillars on side. This is the chariot I'm mentioning. We'll see an aerial view of this. Again, this is a layered plan of Kailash temple. Again, layer wise, if you go for the basement floor, there are elephants on the sides, but the trunk of the elephants have been broken and destroyed during the invasions of different empires on time, and even lot many idols, their noses have been knocked off. Like as you understand that nose supports the facial expression or the identity of a face. So that nose has been hammered out and destroyed. There are many of them like this, and many faces of Lord Buddha and all. I mean, talk about human vandalism, or maybe the people who say smuggle these elements out. They all have created a great damage to the marvel which was created for a very noble cause. So this is the upper layer of it. You come up, there are staircase and steps going up, and this is the hall where Shivling is there. And then you can go on the outer balconies and you can look at this particular line. This all colonnades, and these all small panels. Where my cursor is, it has got wall murals. This corner wall mural, this shows the wedding ceremony and the coronation. Not the coronation part. Coronation is in a different area. Coronation of Lord Shiva is there in Masroor rock cut temples of Kangra, that is in Himachal Pradesh, and in Mamlapuram, that is in Tamil Nadu. This particular area where I have kept the cursor, this depicts marriage ceremony of Lord Shiva and Parvati, wherein the manner in which Parvati is standing is in a very shy manner. The kind of basic observations what has been done in this Hindu temple is worth admiration, worth learning, worth understanding. This entire line is full of wonderful storyline of Lord Shiva, Goddess Parvati, and their entire family lineage. This is the aerial view of again Kailash temple. You can see this particular part on top. They are the axial line, that is the cardinal point, and north, south, east, west on top. So you cannot access on this roof. But looking at the human scale here, people standing down, and even if I go back once again to showcase you this particular area, the human scale and the size and the mass of people. You can see a lady standing here, someone seated here. With this, you can imagine the nature in which the size and scale of the entire structure is. Again, getting back to the details, there are some trunks of elephants which are not in existence now. It is quite a long period that either due to human vandalism or due to even natural calamities, things fall. And even as on date, lot many rocks on this particular top sometimes tend to fall, for which the department keeps doing retrofitting and take precautional measures. Here in this down slide, you can see the manner in which the caves are cut and the profile of the topography of the entire hill line on top. Again, these are the manner in which the three tiers. So there are two caves which are called as Do Tal and Teen Tal. Teen Tal means 3 layers. So if you look at them, again, it resembles the present day column beam structure. If you go for a center line of this, they are very well balanced, very well graphed, and very well structured, which is very common in today's time when we are doing the RCC buildings and modern time buildings. It's a very ancient image. This whole cave was filled in soil again, and it has been slowly caved. The filled soil has been removed, unearthed, and today it is exposed to the people around for witnessing. Coming to some images of that inside, I mean, you can see different deities being presented here. This cave is called as Cave of Vishwakarma, which has got a complete we call it also as a Cave of Carpenters. I mean, that manner in which it has been sculpted, it looks as if a wooden structures have been arranged here, like wooden logs and the wooden beams on top. That is the reason why it is called as Vishwakarma Cave or even Cave of Carpenters. The holy books of Ramayana and Mahabharata have been sculpted on these panels. So these are some images from the scriptures wherein such intricately the war, the entire happening has been sculpted on the sides of the chariot of Kailash temple. Again, the meditative posture of Lord Buddha. There is a lotus on top, on beneath, on which he is seated in the posture of meditation, and the angels above. And this is a very rare, very unique, and even coming back again, as I mentioned to you about the nose part. See, every structure you see that the nose of the structure is knocked, and the original beauty of that entire face has been distorted by the invaders. Sorry, getting back now, we are coming close to the main city, that is Aurangabad caves. So here you see this, though the site is not having much caves, there are 12 caves, but then the moment you visit them, you again find a great connect between Ellora Ajanta caves and Aurangabad caves. This is in the main city. You can see the number of steps taken up. This was the, there are some caves which are undone, they are half done, possibly because of the nature of rock was different, or there's water seepage and there are chances that the upper area might collapse. Coming to the descriptive part of it, Aurangabad caves are 12 rock-cut Buddhist shrines located on a hill running roughly east to west, close to the city of Aurangabad in Maharashtra. The reason why I always mention Maharashtra after Aurangabad is there is one in Uttar Pradesh and one in Bihar also. So there are 3 Aurangabad in India. So for that, you have to always mention Maharashtra. The first reference to the Aurangabad caves is in the great Chaitya of Kaneri caves. So in the Chaitya of Kaneri caves, there is inscription and mention about Aurangabad caves. That is in the outskirts of Mumbai. The Aurangabad caves were dug out of comparatively soft basalt rock during the 6th and 7th century. So that is in the 6th and 7th century, the site was excavated and found. The caves are divided into 3 separate groups depending on their location. These are usually called the Western group with caves 1 to 5, the Eastern group caves 6 to 9, and the Northern cluster with the unfinished 9 to 12 caves, the one which I showed you, which is unfinished, that is 9 to 12. The carvings at the Aurangabad caves are notable for including Hinayana style stupa, Mahayana artworks, work, and Vajrayana goddesses. These caves are among those in India that show first millennium CE Buddhist century era Buddhist artwork with goddesses such as Durga and gods such as Ganesha. Although Buddhist caves are other parts of India, with these arts are older, numerous Buddhist deities of the Tantra tradition are also carved in these caves. Now there is a cave on the eastern side of the line where you will be surprised to see Lord Ganesha seated in the middle and Lord Buddha seated in the ministry along with the other counterparts. So this is a very unique site wherein lot to study. Those who have a wonderful analysis of iconography or of history or of even lot many areas relating to the art, architecture and sculpture, they can always come do research work. It is not that everything is still explored. Even there are times that lot many expressions, lot many detailings are still yet to be explored and not brought to the notice of people. And the moment they are exposed, they are told to the tourists by the registered guides. Even there are lot many volunteers who keep traveling, who keep taking these tourists to different caves, and they educate them, they guide them. They need to also get the right knowledge, the right message, so that the tourists who come, they carry the proper knowledge and message from these caves to the world around. Because our tradition of these caves is a unique, what you call, a marvel. It's an engineering marvel, as I always mention. It is very uncommon, though a collective form of painters, artisans, sculptors, meditation, people into meditation, teachers, every individual who contributed, including the traders, but bringing up such a marvel in that era, in that period, that also sculpting out and bringing such balanced form. Imagine one single mistake in this idol or the entire sculpture cannot allow you to repeat it, because once it is destroyed or damaged, you don't have second chance to further repeat it. So they were that skilled, they were that perfect in their work that they could deliver such marvels and send it to us or keep it for us to learn. The cave temples of Aurangabad, carved between 6th and 8th century, are 9 kilometers from Aurangabad city center, a few kilometers from the campus of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathoda University, Soneri Mahal and Bibi Ka Maqbara. These are the close by areas. It is in the foothills of Aurangabad caves is Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathoda University and the Science Department of Archaeological Survey of India. And further, the Hanuman Tegri, that is a hill surrounded by Himayat Bagh. And if you move further ahead to south, you come close to Bibi Ka Maqbara, Panchaki, that is the underground water channel system built by Malik Ambar. So these are the very important marvels of the town. Carved in the Siachal ranges, the Aurangabad caves somewhat have been overshadowed by the UNESCO World Heritage Monuments of Ellora and Ajanta cave temples. So, which means that though it has its own grace beauty, but then the intricacies detailing is in the climatic conditions and the positioning of the Ajanta and Ellora caves have proved beneficial and favorable for them in comparison to Aurangabad caves. Though its sculptures are comparable to Ajanta and Ellora, the caves are much smaller, more desperate and less visited. Though in 20th century, a few scholars started looking at these cave temples as a missing link between Ajanta and Ellora, and also after an exhaustive study were compelled to describe it as a sensitive marking of life situated in time and space span. It is a protected monument under the Archaeological Survey of India. These are the sculpted wall panels of the caves. You see the manner in which the Dwarpals are positioned around. And as I always say, that going minus in a rock is very difficult, and imagining how to position these on the corners, in the front, on the top, and that entire artwork, that painting, possibly they carried a wonderful sketch in a three-dimensional form or in a two-dimensional form, but they knew what to sculpt and what to present according to the scriptures. And of course, there might be a team, there might be a line of people who might be confirming, approving, as it is for we people in today's era and generation. But then every individual was perfect in their own capacity, in the individual or in team capacity. These are some murals on the walls, which are the sculptures, which are in small panels. This is in Aurangabad caves. Again, these are some pillars. These are pillars which are broken half. Again, the top line has collapsed. It has caved by the course of time, due to which the inner ones are remaining and this line is completely gone. I mean, standing all these years, of course, there is a possibility that, as I said, always either due to human vandalism or due to the invaders of who caused the destruction, or people who steal such and smuggle to different places. All such elements have caused damage to the entire site, including the climatic conditions, possibly some seismic movements in the course of time. There's a small pushkarni here, which is the water tank here, where I've kept my cursor, where earlier I remember as a child when I used to travel with my parents and with my school, I've seen people putting coins in them as a symbol of their own offerings. And they used to drink water. Even as on date, that water is pure. These are some, again, capitals of the columns which are projecting out of the wall line. You can see the hairstyle, their posture, the meditative posture, their legs placed cross, the lotus petal. Lotus is a symbol of harmony, a symbol of simplicity, and of course relates to the various goddesses. Again, the side view of it. This is the Pushkarni I was speaking about. Cave number 1 and 2 of Aurangabad and last caves of Ajanta coexisted as is apparent from striking parallels which we come across while examining both the sites. Again at Aurangabad, after a careful study of both caves 1 and 3, the conclusion the historians have come to is that cave number 3 was earlier to cave number 1. In cave number 3, the artist seems to have decorated with surprisingly neat and organized designs of fretwork, scrolls, then panel of couples, tassels, flowers, geometrical designs, and highest point of perfection and consummation. So here you see the profile in which the caves have been created. There are steps to go up on the upper floor, and even in this entire region, you will find lot many parrots, owls, monkeys moving around, which are part and parcel of that entire topography of land in that particular region. These are dancing apsaras and deities and goddesses in line. Possibly here you can see the manner in which the musicians are playing their jhanj, and there's a flute in the hand of this person. There is dolki and everything, and this entire group of musicians are performing, and the dancer is performing in the middle. So this whole thing, which used to happen in the earlier time kingships, was depicted so clear and clean on the stone. Further, we move ahead to Pitalkhora caves, and Pitalkhora caves is in Kannad, which is beyond Ellora, beyond Kailash temple, and a wonderful marvel to study and analyze. Again, you can see the topography of the entire site. The forest department owns the top line, the entire region, and the cliff has been caved inside. I mean, from this surface, if I see, it is caved inwards, deep inside, and then this caves have been positioned here. There's a line of elephants here with the Dwarpal here, where I've kept my cursor. From here, we have to enter and we come up. We reach to this floor, we move around, and there is the entire area to connect. There are steps to go to every cave, and they interlate. Opposite to this is again a hill, where in the middle of hill, like I'm holding my cursor, you can see some caves sculpted out. Here also you can see some small arches on top. The arch lines here you can see. So you can make out that some parts of them have either collapsed, or they are undone, or they are incomplete, or the quality of rock and the location has been accordingly moved. This is during the rainy season, the previous slide, and now the summertime, how it is. You have to walk from the uphill, park your vehicle up, and then keep stepping downwards. And this is the entire terrain. Pillared halls, this is the Dwarpal. Again, getting back to the literature part, sculpted in Chandora Hills, these caves are cut in a variety of basalt rock. Out of 14, 4 are chaityas, 14 caves, 4 are chaityas, and the rest are viharas. All the caves belong to the Hinayana period, but the reasonably well preserved paintings are of the Mahayana period. The caves are in 2 groups, one of the 10 caves and the second of 4. It is believed that Pitalkhora can be identified with Pitanglia of Mahamayuri, a Buddhist chronicle. The inscriptions date from 250 BCE to 3rd and 4th century era. Some of the caves have crumbled and lie in dilapidated state. The site shows statues of elephants, 2 soldiers of which one is intact. That guard, this is the only guard, and the soldier who seems very intact, holding his shield, and his hairstyle and all is worth admiration. Again, the nose part is knocked off here. There is an elephant image on top. This is again a large elephant on the side. The faces of all the elephants are no more existing. They all have been, in my opinion, if you ask me, the first opinion will be someone has removed it and stolen and smuggled it for their monetary benefits, because it cannot happen that either that one reason might be there, or it can be even climatic or calamity, wherein they have gone because of some caving on top. But then if you go for the Western museums, even if you go to British Library, maximum of the possessions of theirs, which has come from Indian continent or this particular subcontinent, is taken by them by smuggling it from our country that side. I mean, you take it as a truth or whatsoever, but then majority of our treasure, majority of our riches have been smuggled by different countries who invaded us, and they all have either sold it to some other trader, but finally the history from where it originated is no more in existence. Because if it is kept in a museum, so well and good, but then understanding the present time free nations, everything should be returned back, and it should be back with the country which originally possessed it, because that is where it should belong to. Now, if I go to a particular site, I cannot steal a particular stone and bring for my personal use and keep it in my trunk. There is no value of that unless it belongs to the same place. Coming to the literature, some of the caves have crumbled and lie in dilapidated state. The site shows statues of elephants, two soldiers of which one is intact, a damaged Gajalakshmi icon, and an ancient rainwater harvesting system. These caves have been significant in helping establish the chronology of cave building of Ajanta Ellora region. So they somehow relate very close to them. This is how the paintings are on the pillars. These pillars which you see here, they are all painted. Now there is a new addition done by the department to structure it, to strengthen it, but then they didn't go for the same profile because it otherwise falsifies that this is also one of the original ones. So that is the reason it has been kept a bit absurd, or I mean it looks a bit different than the other. So these are the polygonal columns which are octagonal or more than 8 sides, which are painted in completely in this particular Hinayana faith. The Pitalkhora caves in the Satmala range in the western Ghats of Maharashtra, India, are an ancient Buddhist site consisting of 14 rocks cave monuments which date back to the 3rd century BC, making them one of the earliest rock examples of rock cut architecture in India. Located about 40 kilometers from Ellora, the site is reached by a steep climb down a flight of concrete stairs past a waterfall next to the caves. This is the present time manner in which it is described. They are all uneven terrain, but then they have been shaped by the department. See here, this is what I meant. The faces of all the elephants are no more in existence. Their legs, their strong legs are all shown, and the guard is here. This is from where you enter and go up. But then the faces of all these elephants, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and furthermore, they all are no more existing. The close-ups, and this Dwarpal, again the structure is again vandalized. This is a wonderful architrave across the door from where you can climb upwards. Then comes the cave here on the down part, and then the arches which you see now, the jali on it, the lattice work, which is again sculpted in stone, not put later, but the existing stone has been sculpted in that manner. This is the bulbous capital on top. This is how the profile is, how the water reaches and all. Geoscientific studies for the conservation of Pitalkhora caves, Aurangabad district, Maharashtra, was carried out during the field season of 2001 to 2002. Pitalkhora caves are one of the oldest Buddhist caves constructed between 6th and 7th century AD and comprise sculptures and paintings which have been damaged largely due to natural weathering process and biogenic influences, that is the algae deposits and all, and fungal deposits. Unstable slopes, huge rocks, overhangs, and seepage problems are the main contributors to the damages. Even the bat houses are also one major concern because their excreta again damages the paintings. It is very commonly seen in Ajanta, Ellora, and all the caves of India. Detailed studies were conducted and remedial measures have been suggested. The broad remedies are offloading the precariously perched and overhanging boulders on the top slopes, seepage control measures, minimize environmental degradation in the cave environment, and slope and facade treatment measures. So these are some steps that department decided to take so as to reduce the load. Now coming to certain present time requirements, what we understand is when someone travels to these sites, there are some basic amenities required. Like it can be a bench to seat for the elders, or drinking water points, toilet facilities, cafeteria. There are some necessary amenities which are planned by the department, that is the Archaeological Survey of India. So coming back to some proposals, that is sufficient drinking water facilities, seating arrangements shall be proposed. This was initial time approach. Now some structures and some support facilities are already existing. These are the proposals which I had prepared way back. Sufficient sanitation booths and facilities shall be arranged at sanitation booths and facilities shall be arranged at certain locations without disturbing the ambience of the heritage site. They can possibly be part of the government approved cafeteria located outside the enclosed area of the sites. Self-explanatory signages, which is directive, descriptive, and illustrative, shall be placed at various intervals so as to help the visitors locate various places in and around these marvelous ancient heritage sites. Well-maintained paid parking shall be developed. Water seepage damaging the intricate artworks, sculptures, paintings, and murals shall be attended to. Vegetation growth on the walls of the caves causing threat shall be attended regularly. Necessary surface treatment shall be done to avoid the same. Fungal infections and deposits on the popped and peeled pockets behind the mural painting scaled of the rock shall be taken care of. Now, when that painting is bulging out, I mean, it projects out, a small injection grouting is done so that the inside projected cavity is filled and supported, and the painting which is popped out from the surface is again adhesed back with the back wall. All local heritage sites or sites shall be included in school syllabus so as to educate the coming generations. No modern landscape shall be proposed in and around the heritage sites as they falsify the original form of the heritage site as were in existence. Shops outside the heritage sites alongside the accessway shall be pushed back or relocated as they cause traffic congestion at various important junctions around. So these were some proposals which I gave way back. As far as safety and security measures are concerned, visitors shall not be allowed to access risk-prone areas. There are times that even the beehives, talk of jo madhumakhi ka chhatta hota hai, there are times when they have also attacked. Recently, there was a group of doctors who visited Pidalkhora caves and they were quite seriously admitted because either someone pelted stone on that beehive or they themselves attacked. But then things were a bit difficult to administer, and this is very common risk which is seen all across. Sufficient trained staff shall be deputed at various points so as to check for safety issues of the visitors. If necessary, they shall be provided first aid kits. Visitors, especially adults and elders, tend to dehydrate, for which they shall be educated at the entry points. Flexible metal security chain link net shall be laid all across the uneven natural uphill and cave line as done in alongside the hills of Konkan railway line so as to avoid any unforeseen caving of rock from top line which may further cause harm to the visitors and staff. It may also result in major accident, life threat and damage to the World Heritage Sites as the impact of caving can't be assessed well in advance due to their huge rocky mass and strata. Battery operated cars, noise-free cars shall be introduced so as to curtail the tiresome walk from one cave to another, especially for children, elders, and those who get exhausted, especially in summers. Necessary numbers of illumination around the caves with respect to security and safety purpose shall be proposed, because by the time it is evening and people are about to move, it gets dark in winters and it is difficult to spot people, and every guard has to keep whistling and call people to leave the place. So as I mentioned here about the chain link, I've been traveling, though I'm a native of Kerala, and I have experienced while traveling by Konkan Railway that they have put chain link net completely so as to avoid the caving and the sliding of the top hill line, and that has been well structured. Similar approach could have been taken. That is one suggestion here. These are some far view images of the rocket caves. Mostly this, again, this complete line which you see down is from Ellora. The top image, the right top is again, and the bottom one are from Ajanta caves. There is recent development, which is Archaeological Survey of India has entered into a MOU with CISF under which soon around 100 security guards will be deputed at Ellora Caves, Daulatabad Fort and Bibika Maqbara. Breed of native trees of Ellora are custard apple, guava, neem trees and anjeer. So which should be much more encouraged in that region instead of planting any artificial foreign breed of landscape, which is recently development in Ellora Caves also, and most of the heritage sites across the nation. Go to Sun Temple, Konar, go to any other sites, you will find all golden duranta, acalypha, Australian grass or jumping grass. These are the ones which are proposed, which are not a part of this particular terrain and region. So the custodians have to be sensitive enough and take the right decision. There are three separate wings of Archaeological Survey of India which function, namely horticulture, conservation, and science, who shoulder separate responsibilities regarding sanitation cum gardening, conservation, and chemical conservation, respectively. Ellora falls under Khultawat Police Station, from which two constables are deputed daily at the World Heritage Site, presently the security of these heritage sites are awarded through open tenders. Apart from Indian nationals, tourists and various countries across the globe visit these heritage sites. They are mostly from Korea, Japan, Thailand, France, Spain, Germany, US, and UK, etc. There are people who come from, of course, China and other region. They keep traveling this particular region. Malaysia, lot many countries which belong to the Buddhist faith. Trained tourist guides certified by Indian Tourism Development Corporation render their services to national as well as international visitors. They are well versed with Hindi, Marathi, English, Japanese, French, German, etc. languages. There are a lot of youngsters also who are taking interest in these languages because they try to cater to the support of Japanese, French, German tourists, even the Spanish languages portraying these rich heritage sites to their best. Aurangabad caves and Pitalkhora caves are devoid of many facilities and amenities in comparison to UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which get maximum funding, that is Ajanta and Ellora caves, as declared in the year 1983, mainly the access way and for promotional activities. I mean, they shall be also given the similar nature of promotion. So again, the paintings which you saw, you can see the lotus and petals on which the deities are standing. There is a great awareness which is required, that is, visitors shall be educated through instructions at their collection point before they start proceeding to these ancient heritage sites, so as to maintain decorum, rules, and in an organized pattern. This will help solve various behavioral issues of tourists and allow them to feel comfortable. These ancient heritage sites and also other sites of our nation shall be included in school syllabus in respective subject year-wise. Tourists shall not touch the painting's structural surfaces in any manner, as many a times it is observed that they tend to peel off or remove their layers intentionally or unintentionally, possibly due to lack of awareness. Graffitis on walls shall be avoided. You have seen lot many people write with chalks or coal or stone. That should be avoided. It falsifies the situation and damages the original identity and serenity and sanctity of the site. Garbage spill by tourists and vendors in and around the heritage site shall be avoided. Again, now there is a restriction. When you carry a water bottle, you have to pay and go. And when you bring that bottle, you have to again pay back, collect back 20 rupees and deposit the show that you have brought the bottle back. Otherwise, you don't bring that, you are not repaid. So a small control done by ASI so that people try to, even if it's 20 rupees, it is a small impression. Various festivals shall be programmed and promoted at national as well as international levels, which will create awareness and add to revenue generation thereof. Arts and crafts workshop and events shall be conducted in the tourist information centers developed in the precincts of Ajanta and Ellora caves. There are TICs, that is tourist information centers, already built in Ajanta and Ellora caves, but not functioning in great capacity because of lack of manpower and their tendering issues. Art and craft workshops and events shall be conducted at the tourist information centers developed at the precincts of Ajanta and Ellora caves. Similar approach shall be maintained for less visited Pitalkhora and Aurangabad caves, which mainly requires promotional activities and events so as to popularize them. Stay of tourists in Aurangabad city shall be increased by a day or two, which will help boost tourism and will support all those connected directly or indirectly with tourism. I mean, if the tourist stays for more than 1 day or more than 2 days, every individual, like even if it's a hotel, so the vendors who are there in the hotel, may it be the cloth business or the flooring, the tiles, the plumbing, the food, the kind of cutlery what is used, every person, every individual, including the taxi vendor, the people who are loading, unloading, the waiters, managers, staff, air ticketing agencies, railways, every individual is benefited, and a tourism's promotion always will prove beneficial for our nation's development also. And we are full of treasure, so I don't think there should be any dearth in promoting. There's no dearth in the treasure we possess. So here my message goes Collective approach shall be maintained for the upkeep of these engineering marvels by the natives, visitors, and the various departments so that it can survive for generations ahead. These engineering and architecture marvels shall be experienced. That is what I mentioned, that you all are welcome to come physically. I'm there in this town, and anytime at the department's call, with I can always be a part of the entire event, and we can go together and witness them in person. This is the end of the presentation. I hope it somehow enhanced your know-how and knowledge. Any questions or any doubts from anyone?
Sir, namaskar, sir.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for this such a wonderful lecture you have given.
Thanks
It
a
is
lot.
a very exhaustive lecture, I must say.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, sir, could you please stop sharing so that the
Yes.
participants would ask questions?
I will.
Participants, do you have any questions?
Hello, sir. Hello, I'm
Ji,
audible.
Devidas sir ji. Please.
Hello?
Ji, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Sir, caves are in that 200 years before, the caves are used for the which purpose, means for the host, for lodging purpose, for staying purpose, for education purpose, for trade purpose.
Correct.
What was the use of caves at that time in the 200 years before?
We did discuss this in the initial slides, that
Yeah.
there are different purposes for which they were built. One is, of course, their meditative reason, wherein they used to offer their prayers. The another major reason was trade. Trade was one very prime reason, that they had been trying the quality of rock all across the Sayadri Hills. If you go from Nagpur and then you keep tracking the entire hill line, you'll find lot many caves which are incomplete and undone. And that is when you really understand that the quality of stone they really got in this region was better for their purpose, and they halted and they carved and sculpted all this marvel. Education, of course, yes, because we have got examples of entire classrooms we have visited with masters of tourism students all across these caves, and we have witnessed lot many volumes. It's a routine activity for us. And as you asked for, all the areas, they are witnessed here: the religious purpose, the educational purpose, the trade purpose, the social cause. Every area is a major aspect of these particular marvels.
There also one more question, sir. Caves also replicate the different type of the religions, like Hindu caves,
Yes.
Buddhist caves, and Jain caves.
Yes, sir.
So, do you have idea about the Jain caves? I don't have idea. Jain caves. Can you glimpse on the a few idea about the Jain caves?
The Jain temples.
Throughout the Jain caves, in your initial
Yes, the
presentation, you was
cave
talk
number
about the
31
Jain
to
caves.
34 in
Different type
Ellora
of
cave
religions are
are
there.
Jain temples. So personally, they are formed in a complete different way, just like as the Jain Tirthankaras are placed. They are located there in similar form. The reason, there is a very limited number of people who visit that site who belong to the faith, but the majority of people who travel the main line, that is cave number 10, cave number 16, cave number 19, and all this frontline caves, they are quite exhausted and they hardly get time to spend their day, because as I mentioned that the tourists should be held for more than 2 days. This site is not even sufficient to be visited in one day. There are people who have come and spent ages there. A German scholar and a historian like Walter Spinks, he has spent his more than 4 generations here. I mean, he has lived here along with his family, and he has documented Ajanta caves through books and literature, and he has published. You can refer to his books. So visiting and learning from these caves are not enough in a day's time. Generally, the tourists who come there, they in this particular region and town, they stay not more than 2 days. One day they'll go to Ajanta, second day they'll cover Ellora, visit Krishneshwar temple, one of the Jyotirlingas in the morning, and then come to the main city, visit the Taj of Deccan, that is Bebika Maqbara, and Panchaki, that is the water channel system. Aurangabad caves again is missed at times. So that's the reason I mentioned that tourism shall be flourished in a manner in which a tourist shall be made stay for a longer period, and then which will help even the various sectors of industry to boom. At the same time, it will be great support for knowledge enhancing system as well.
One more thing, Ellora caves, Aurangabad cave and Pitalkhora caves are mostly are get destroyed by some other because of natural or some other people
Yes,
for the
yes,
different
yes,
cause or
yes.
different reason. But especially this kind of things is not observed in Ajanta. So why Ajanta cave is not
See,
destroyed or destructed?
Ajanta caves
Because of,
is more than 120 kilometers away from the main city. And most of the rulers who came from Yadava dynasty, the Marathas and the Mughals and all, their centric focus was this region. And that city is again is in the outskirts. It is in Fardapur district near Jalgaon Road, and is very much far in the far line. So they again, and by the course of time, it got filled by seismic movement and all. As I mentioned, in 1819, it was the British colonel who completely unearthed it, so that it was completely leveled by earth. So the moment the entire site is leveled by earth, you are not knowing what is beneath unless it was found and it was completely uh, exposed to the world. So that is one major reason. Call it a blessing in disguise, but then of course it was a boon for that particular natural moment, and development was a blessing for Ajanta caves. Otherwise, even that would have been fallen to apathy of such human vandalism. So I think,
thank you, sir.
yeah, thanks a lot to each and everyone who participated. I would request you all to give feedback to the organizing committee and madam, and looking forward to
Yes,
hear
sir.
from you. And you can all take my contact details. You can take a screenshot of this last slide wherein you can get the details, and then further in any manner you want to connect or contact, you can, and I'm always available at one phone call with you. Thanks a lot, madam. Thank you for considering
Okay,
me.
sir, we would like to
Vote of thanks.
officially give vote of thanks. Our participants will be giving the vote of thanks.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
You can stop sharing the screen.
Sir, please stop. Sir, hello, sir. Please unshare your screen. Hello.
Yes, he's doing that. Okay, you can continue with the vote of thanks, sir.
Yes, madam. Very good evening, one and all, which is present over here in this online galaxy. I am Dr. Devidas Bhagat, currently working as an assistant professor in a Department of Forensic Chemistry and Toxicology, Government Institute of Forensic Science, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. Dear friends, today we have very well-known, eminent, dynamic professor, Professor Abraham Pathrose is distinguished architecture professor of practice known for expertise in Indian knowledge system. Currently, sir working as a professor of practice in MGM University, and he's also alumni of MGM. And also, I also highlight one more thing: the city of gate, Aurangabad, is this term invented, firstly coined by the Professor Abraham Pathrose. Now, Professor Abraham Pathrose gives a very dynamic, very knowledgeable lecture, lucid lecture, having tremendous command on the architectures of the different caves. Sir, explain about the structural architectures of different caves, which includes Ajanta cave, Aurangabad cave, Velora caves. Different caves are there. Next ones are also focused on the what are the uses of the caves, what are the application of the caves in a society at that time and in ancient time, in ancient Indian practices. The next one, caves is not only a restful position for the monk. It's used for the study. It's used for the meditation. It's used for the business kind of things. The Professor Abraham Pathrose also focused on the Ajanta caves. Ajanta caves is very famous for the painting, sculpture, and Ajanta cave, which is situated nearby the Vadhura River. Ajanta cave, most things is preserved in sculpture. At that time, in most of the things are observed there. The Ajanta caves is known for the sculpture. Next one, Ellora caves. Ellora caves his name is came from the Eel Liver or Eel King. Now the Kailash temple is the center of attraction in Ellora caves, which is coined as the center of earth. Now there is it's also focused on the architecture of this Ajanta caves, Ellora caves. They're having pillar type of the kind of things and a huge number of the architectures nowadays we are using in the modern building construction. At that time, our Indians, our peoples are used such kind of architecture which is replicated in the current scenario are used in Ellora caves and Ajanta caves 2 layer, 3 layer, and more than that. Caves are now, as per the in throughout presentation, especially I'm participant. I observed that Ellora caves, Pitarkola caves, and Aurangabad caves, which is destroyed, damaged by the people for the some sake of money, for the for his personal kind of we can say personal kind of the revenge, or we can say because of some natural calamities. Next one is the sir talk very so nicely talk about the talk about the Aurangabad cave. Aurangabad cave, which is situated nearby Bibi Ka Maqbara or University Gate, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar University, or near to the Hanuman Degree. It is location. Then this will also explain the architecture of these Ajanta cave, Ellora caves, Aurangabad caves, focused on the nicely explain the all things in detail. These caves especially made up of the basalt rock. Now, nowadays, so what? Now all these caves are the now Ajanta caves and Ellora caves now the part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now, so all these things are do some sir also share about some do's and don'ts. Sir also focus about the few awareness things of the people how to increase the gravity of people, how to conserve the people. And the caves are the national treasure. It is a heritage. It should be preserved for the future generation because it replicate are the golden history. So thank you very much, sir. It's on behalf of UGC MMTTC Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar course coordinator Dr. Manisha Sawant, sorry, Dr. Madhuri Sawant, madam, and all other participants and other supporting staff. Thank you very much, sir. You deliver very outstanding, very lucid, very knowledgeable lecture. And thank you for enlighten and enrich us in the architecture of the caves. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot to one and all for participating.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much
Thank you for giving an
joining
opportunity.
us.
Thank you.
So we have Professor Dhabe from Botany Department. I cannot see him. I'll just call and let
मॅडम मी जॉईन झालोय मग हाच परंतु ते आता आला का व्हिडिओ आला आणि माझा आवाज येतोय?
हो सर,
Yes,
हो
sir.
सर.
Yes, sir. आवाज येतो.
Yes.
सर, सर नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार. गुड इव्हनिंग.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining for this refresher course. I request the participants to please go for introduction part.
My pleasure. I have to rush at 6 o'clock to attend one function, madam. So I will finish my lecture sharp at 5:45. Vote of thanks and for discussion. We will spare some 10 to 15 minutes. Okay.
Ji sir. We will. You just tell us. You can complete it, and we will do the vote of thanks as soon as possible. Other participants, please concentrate.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Yeah, roll number 41. Yeah, please go on for this introduction part.
Excuse.
Hello.
So the
May I
mic is
ask-
muted.
देविदास सर, कौन करता है इंट्रोडक्शन? कौन देणार आहे?
रोल नंबर 36 होते. एक मिनिट चेक करतो मॅडम. मॅडम मी करू का?
असेल का सर?
Hello. May I audible, madam?
जी सर, प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
Very good evening, one and all. So myself, Dr. Devidas Bhagat. I am going to introduce very well-known, eminent professor. Especially, this professor is known for his medicinal knowledge. Because this is my third time. Because I'm also participant of the refresher course in our university. And also, I'm also personally, I will also share one thing. My wife is the student of Professor Dhabe. So Professor Dhabe Arvind Shankar Rao, he is the senior most professor, head chairman board of study of botany and member of council of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. As per the qualification concerned, sir doing MSc botany, MSc gold medalist, MSc in ecology and environment, PhD degree in botany. Sir also qualified NET examination. Sir also qualified the NET GRA UGC examination and so on. As far as teaching experience concerned, Professor Dhabe having 2 years of UG experience, whereas 30, will not very broad spectrum of 30 years of PG experience, total teaching experience having 32. As far as the number of paper published concerned, Professor Dhabe till date published 32 research paper in international and national peer-reviewed reputed journals. As per the number of book concerned, Professor Dhabe published 1 book and contributed in 4 books. As per the number of conference concerned, Professor Dhabe attend conference in 40, national conference 147. Around Professor Dhabe visit to different country around Professor Dhabe visit to 29 country for the academic interest. Guiding PhD student 26 people successfully completed PhD, in which three people are from the foreign countries. Now, 2 students admitted for PhD thesis and 8 are voted. Now, as per the research project concerned, Sir Professor Dhabe complete around around 5 uh, uh, research project, sum of rupees 9 lakhs, 66 lakhs, 112 lakhs, 2.68 crore. So more than means Sir Professor Dhabe getting the standing funding from the government for his outstanding research. As far as the as far as publication concerns, Professor Dhabe published notable publications in various reputed journals. Next one is the fellowship concern. The Indian Association of Angiosperm Taxonomy, FIAAT 201. Now, Professor Dhabe work in a various committee in a national and international repute. Professor Dhabe uh, membership of 11 professional of national bodies and society. So, as far as award concerned, Professor Dhabe received the around more than 10 awards, national and international levels and state levels awards. So I'm not investing much more time in reading of all awards in detail, uh, Nana Sahib Tawde Gold Medalist Award in 1993, Yamuna Bai, much more awards. So Professor Dhabe also having the broad spectrum of experience of the administration. He is the head of the Department of Botany. Botany. He worked as the warden of Boys Hostel and many more different committees in Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. So on behalf of UGCMM TTC, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, so welcome you, Professor Dhabe, in this online forum to deliver the lecture. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir. Hello.
Roll number 36, are you there? Roll number 36, you please be ready for the vote of thanks. Dhabe sir, सुरू करा sir. Participants, can you see Dhabe sir on the forum?
No, ma'am, he is not there.
Oh, I can.
roll number one, Bhagat sir.
हाँ सर.
Sir, 35 number already absent आहे sir system मध्ये.
Absent आहे का?
Oh. Yes, roll number 39. Ma'am is available.
सर मला तुम्ही 33 absent सांगितलं होतं.
नाही नाही सिस्टम आहे ना सर. ठीक आहे तर बघा सर सर जॉईन झाले.
मला वाटतं ते मला नाही का नंतर ते कॅन्सल केलं होतं त्यांनी ऍडमिशन.
हो
स्टार्टिंगला
ठीक आहे सर.
इंडक्शनच्या वेळेस नव्हतं केलं कॅन्सल त्यांनी वाटतं.
येस रोल नंबर 39. Yes, roll number 42.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Sir, please read the biodata.
Yes, sir.
बायोट वाचलं सर.
नाही करता बेटे समज करताय सर.
So you can go for vote of thanks.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Biot already completed.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Because of rainfall
And
issue.
sir will be joining. He's having some technical issue. So just hold on for another 2-3 minutes. He will join.
हाँ मैम ऑलरेडी सर ज्वाइन हो चुके हैं मीटिंग में.
हाँ. Sir, we can see you. Sir. नाही सर, तुम्ही अनम्यूट करा. सर तुम्ही अनम्यूट आहात आणि आवाज नाही येत आहे सर. तुमचा व्हॉल्यूम वाढवा वाटल्यास कम्प्युटरचा. बरोबर, प्लीज हेल्प मी. सर तुमच्या कम्प्युटरचा व्हॉल्यूम कमी असेल सर, असं वाटतंय. Participant, just hold on for another 2-3 minutes. We are checking.
No issues, ma'am.
न्यूज के पास गए सर, मुझे एक रिपोर्ट लिखवानी है। आरती कुछ और कहती, इससे पहले ही राजेंद्र मिश्रा ने उसे बीच में टोक दिया। किसकी रिपोर्ट लिखवानी है? मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन फीस 5,000 रुपये लगती है तो बोल, वरना फौरन दफा हो जा। ये सुनकर आंटी की आंखें गुस्से से लाल हो गई। वह हैरान थी कि इस थाने में खुलेआम भ्रष्टाचार हो रहा है और जिले की डीएम अधिकारी होने के बावजूद उसे अब तक आंटी ने गहरी सांस ली और सख्त स्वर में कहा, सर आप हमसे रिश्वत क्यों मांग रहे हैं? रिपोर्ट लिखवाने के लिए कोई शुल्क नहीं सकता। जो आप कर रहे हैं ना सिर्फ गलत है।
Is somebody is on the video, roll number 25?
भड़क उठा और बोला, क्या कहा तूने? मैं गलत कर रहा हूँ।
Bhagat
ये मुझसे
sir,
ज्यादा कानून आता
roll
है।
number 25
ज्यादा
बघा.
बकवास मत कर, वरना अभी तुझे अंदर करवाऊंगा। आरती समझ चुकी थी
सर
कि
रोल नंबर 25 ने काहीतरी व्हिडिओ सुरू केलाय, त्यांना सांगा बंद करायला.
केला
How can you start a video in this forum? I don't understand. धाबे सर झाले का प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व?
हॅलो.
Audible, sir.
Ji sir. Sir, you are audible.
आता आवाज येतोय ना मॅडम?
हो सर, हो
Hello.
सर, आवाज येतोय. आवाज येतोय सर.
ठीक आहे, आता हे काय आहे? ठीक आहे. आवाज मी स्लाइड ठीक आहे.
येस मॅम. मॅम स्क्रीन नाही विजिबल सर.
He is sharing the screen. Just hold on.
हा सर झाले जॉईन.
मॅडम हॅलो.
येस सर युअर
हाँ सर.
ऑडिबल. येस.
हॅलो.
Sir,
आवाज
we
येतोय sir.
can just see your screen. आवाज येतोय सर. तुमचं पीपीटी नाही दिसत आहे, पण तुमचं हे दिसतंय, स्क्रीन दिसतंय. तुम्ही त्या तुमच्या पीपीटी वर क्लिक करा, म्हणजे पीपीटी आम्हाला दिसेल.
हॅलो.
आय थिंक सरांचा नेटवर्क इश्यू दिसतोय मॅडम, कारण आवाज पण ब्रेक मध्ये डाऊन होतोय.
हो असतील तर मग सर कॅम्पस मध्ये असतील तर ही कॅन कम टू यू. मी विचारते त्यांना, है ना.
हो येस येस मॅम, तेवढं विचारा. नसेल तर सर तुम्ही एकदा पीपीटी ओपन करून बघा सर. ओपन झाली तर स्क्रीन दिसून जाईल तुमची. सर आवाज येतो तुम्हाला?
पीपीटी ओपन झाली मला
नाही सर आम्हाला
तुम्हाला
नाही सर, तुमचा ऑडिबल पण ब्रेकडाऊन होतोय. आय थिंक नेटवर्क इश्यू आहे. सर तुम्ही कॅम्पसमध्ये असाल तर तुम्ही इथे या सर, या इमाम ब्रेड सर, म्हणजे सॉल्व्ह आउट होऊन जाईल.
कुठं असं कधी होत नाही, पण तो
सर आपण कॅम्पस मध्ये असाल तर MMTTC आहे ना, तिथं जाऊन पण देऊ शकता सर.
हा बरं. मॅडम आता
सर तुमचा आवाज ब्रेक होतोय पुन्हा.
काही चर्चा होणार आहे का ग्रुपवर?
तर एक 5 मिनिट थांबूया आपण आणि मग ठरवू काय करायचं. ते अजय
मॅडम एकदा सरांना कॉल करून बघा ना, सावंत मॅम.
ठीक आहे सर, मी करते. हा
येस येस. त्याच्यानंतर जर MMTT ला येत असेल तर आपण वेट करूया.
हो चालेल चालेल, काय हरकत
येस.
Gaurav sir, I think he's still struggling to join.
येस मॅम.
हा, 1 तास दुसरं काय ऍक्टिव्हिटी घेऊ शकतो.
येस चालेल मॅम. रापे सरांना बोलतो मॅम. येस.
Okay, participants till sir joins. I'm not sure what kind of activity we can do over here, but I hope the lectures are going on well.
मॅम धाबे सर इथे आले
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, तिथं आलेत का सर?
Yes,
बरं
yes.
बरं, ठीक आहे, ठीक आहे, काय हरकत नाही. He has come to the MMTTC in the university. We will just start in within 2-3 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sir, sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know why this technical
My
problems.
PC and 2 laptops. Unfortunately, there is weak connectivity, I think, of
Yeah,
internet.
today it is. We are having weak connectivity in the university, sir. I'm still in the university. तर तुम्ही तिथून द्या सर आता.
Oh, okay.
You can share your.
So without taking much time, so I start my presentation. I have chosen this topic, Ayurveda and indigenous traditional system of medicine, because I belong to the family of traditional practitioners of Ayurveda, and all my father and forefathers, they were busy in this tradition. We will pray to the all the former Vaidyas and the teachers. Ragadi Rogana Shatatanu Shatkana Sheshakaya Prasutana Sheshena Otsukya Moharati Daya Jagana Yo Puryo Vaidyaya Namostu Tasme. I bow down before all the Vaidyas in the past, in the present, and in the futures, and all the teachers. So he is my father, and he who taught me the basics of Ayurveda, medicinal plants, and the herbal treatment. The word Ayurveda is derived from two Sanskrit letters. Ayu means life and Ved means science. So Ayurveda is nothing but the science of life. Ayurveda is not only the science of medicine, but it is the science of life. So it is the only science, but an art of happy and healthy long living. So it is the science of longevity. It is the science of taking the help of the herbs to maintain our good health and longevity. And Ayurveda is considered to be the mother of all the medical sciences and the pathies. If it is necessary to explain Ayurveda in terms of pathies, or if I need to say Ayurveda in terms of pathies, so it is a sympathy and sympathy towards the life. It is a part of Atharvaveda, but some of the sites of Yajurveda are also dealing with the properties of the medicinal plants and the treatment of the diseases. The objectives of the Ayurveda is mentioned in Ayurvedic text, that is Swasthasya Swastha Rakshanam and Aturasya Vyadhi Nivaranam. It means that to maintain the health of a healthy person and to cure the disease of the patient. The first objective is to maintain the healthiness of the health of the healthy persons. And then if someone is suffering from any disease or disorder, then we have to treat that patient. Then regarding the origin of Ayurveda, there are two opinions. I don't want to go into the detail. One is Daivik. Brahma has created the word and he also created the Ayurveda in his Brahma Samhita. So we consider that the Brahma is the creator and he has created the earth, the universe and everything, and also the Ayurveda. Another thought is that the Laukik origin of Ayurveda, rishis gathered at the foothills of the Himalayas and they discussed the essence of the treatment of different diseases and disorders, and the responsibility of the compilation of this data was given to the great Rishi Bharadwaja, and he has compiled the data based on the experiences and given to his most popular student Atreya Rishi. Then Atreya's students Agnivesh, Ved, Jatukarna, Parashar, Harit, Sharpani, they have created their own Sahita. Here it is mentioned that Brahma Smruta Isho Vedang Prajapati Maje Grahatang. So Brahma has not created Ayurveda. Brahma Smruta. Smruta means remembered. He remembered the Ayurveda. He remembered the Ayurveda and created. Different Samhitas have different origins of Ayurveda. However, it is observed that Ayurveda has not been created by any author or any creator, rishis or any god. It is the compilation of the knowledge and experiences acquired by the generation after the generation, and that's why Ayurveda is a traditional knowledge. And the theme of our course is the Indian traditional knowledge, IKS, Indian knowledge system. So this is a traditional knowledge. Our forefathers have learned this practice from their surroundings and from animals. They learned vomiting from the cats and the dogs, and the enema from the birds. We have seen that if the cats and dogs, if they don't feel well, they used to consume the grasses and then they vomit and they feel okay. Our forefathers learned from cats and dogs. And some of the birds with long beak, they suck water and they insert their beak into their cloaca to clean the rectum and the anus. So this is the enema we learned from the birds. Then Ayurveda has given details about the Dinacharya, Rutucharya, Dravya Vidyan, Anna Surup, Viruddhahar, and Veg Vidharan. So all these must be learned by a common man, a layman, not necessarily the students of medicine, but this is for a layman, this is for a common man, those who are rigorous to maintain their health. Everybody has to go for this knowledge mentioned in Ayurveda, Dinacharya, when to wake up in the morning, how to wake up in the morning, how to take bath, how to clean our mouth, which paste, which powder, which herbs are used to clean your teeth. So everything has been mentioned. Then how to go outside. If you are moving outside during the night time, then you have to take a torch in one hand and a wooden stick in another hand, and you should not move outside during the night time bareheaded and barefoot. So everything was mentioned in this. And I request our teachers, if you are framing the syllabi on this Indian knowledge system, then you will have to consider this Dinacharya. You prepare the syllabi on the Dinacharya, Rutucharya, because India is such a country, there are seasons, they fluctuate, and you have to behave very differently according to the season. Rainy season, your Rutucharya is different. Even your foods, even your behavior, even all these things, they are as per the season, and you have to consider it. Then the Dravya Vidyan. So the properties of everything, what we consume, not only the medicine, but the cereals, the pulses, the vegetable, the fruit, the spices, and the condiment, the febitaries, masticators, everything is mentioned in Ayurveda. We have to prepare the syllabi Dravya Vidyan. So our students will learn what are the properties of all these Dravya. Dravya means the material. So the Anna Surup, how to cook, how to prepare our food, what are the combinations, and what are the food of the types of the foods of the patients, the healthy man, the kids, the old, the young ones. So everything is mentioned in Ayurveda. Then Viruddhahar, combination of two food articles, they are sometimes proved to be the fatal. Honey and clarified butter, that is ghee. If they are mixed in equal quantity, they are proved to be, that combination is proved to be fatal. Then so many, even kheer and khichdi, they are made up of rice, but combination of kheer and khichdi, that also lead to certain diseases. Curd should not be consumed with the hot articles, hot items, food items. Then the milk cannot be consumed with the radish. Milk should not be consumed with the fishes. Milk should not be consumed with the onion. So all these viruddhahar have been mentioned in Ayurveda, and one has to consider. Even nowadays, the mango pulp or the mango juice and the cold drink like the Coca-Cola, Pepsi, they are proved to be fatal, and within a few minutes, the person dies. Then the Veg Vidharan. Veg Vidharan means Veg. So these are the hunger, then the thirstiness. So all these are the wake with us. Then the nature of the urination, then the stooling. So all these should not be controlled. So that is a science. So all these things must be given to our next generation through our NEP 2020 syllabi. There are 8 divisions of Ayurveda, Kaya Chikitsa, related with the medicine, Bal Chikitsa, pediatrics, the diseases of the babies, then the Graha Chikitsa, astrological effects. Ayurveda strongly believes on this astrological effects and celestial bodies, definitely the moon. And it is proven fact that most of the psychological disorders, they happen on the full moon day or on the no moon day. And it is observed by the psychologists that the murders or the rapes or such offenses, they were done by uh, psy- uh, 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 the psycho people during this no moon days or the full moon days, because the high tide and the low tides of the seas and the oceans, they were also controlled by this moon. So the moon also affecting the water in our bodies and through our brain and on our nervous system, Ayurveda believes. Then the Urdhvanga Chikitsa, our allopathy has only ear, nose, and throat, ENT, but Ayurveda has ENT, eyes, and brain also. Shalya Chikitsa, only surgery is originated in Ayurveda. Because of this Jainism and Buddhism, so no weapon should be taken in hand, and that's why this surgery was lagging behind. Then the Daustra Chikitsa means the antidote to the poisons of the snakes and insects and other bites. Then the Jara Chikitsa is the science of the longevity and maintaining youthfulness. And the last division is Vrasha Chikitsa, that is improving the sex power. And there are medicines like Uttejak, then the Vrasha, Stambhak, Bajikara, likewise. There are 4 steps. Chatushustri of Ayurveda is there must be the cause of a disease. And as per the cause, the symptoms will appear. And as per the symptoms, the disease will be diagnosed. If the symptoms are proper, then the disease will be properly diagnosed. And without the acute diagnosis, there would be no proper treatment. Hence, the everyone is dependent on the other. And the cause, we are responsible for the cause of the disease. If I consume ice cream during a marriage ceremony at 1 o'clock in the night, definitely I may suffer from cold, cough, anything, or some viral fever, definitely, because the cause is there. And according to the cause, the symptoms they appear. And if you consider the symptoms, then and then only they will diagnose you properly. And as per the diagnosis, if the diagnosis is acute, then and then only the treatment will be useful. So there are different modes of the drug administration. The types of medicines, they are the churna. Churna is a fine powder. Ras is a fresh juice. Then the fant is the infusion, and the quath is decoction. We commit a mistake. We consider tea is a decoction, but actually it is the infusion. Infusion is prepared just by pouring the boiled water over the fine powder of the drugs or the plant material, and that is collected or filtered, but that is not boiled. And in case of decoction, if you are go on boiling, and in our Ayurveda, the quath decoction is 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, means if there are 4 cups of water boiled along with a medicinal powder, then 3 cups have been water have been evaporated, and only 1 part is remaining. So tea is not a decoction to boil hours together. Unfortunately, we have developed the habit of drinking such kadak mithi chai. Because of this, the most important antioxidants, they save your body antioxidant quercetin, myrcetine, and campherol. So all these body maintaining these antioxidants, they evaporate along with the tea, and only the harmful tannin is left behind. So, and we consume. What is the pills? What is the liquid extract? When we were small, our mother was giving us the gutti, that is the liquid extract to the newborn babies and the kids. Then the sattva is the solid extract, and avle is a semi-solid extract. Chyawanprash is a semi-solid extract. Then the parpati is the when the extract, a sticky extract is flattened into a thin sheet that is placed in between two metal sheets or the two leather covers, and that is flattened. So that is called the parpati. Tailam is a medicated oil. Ghritam is a medicated ghee. Bhasma is the ash. And even we use the bhasmas of even the metals and the minerals and the mica and all. The kalpa is extract concentrated in the sugar like Shatavari kalpa, and kalka is the fine paste ground in a mortar and pestle. Asava is a fermented juice like the draksha sava. Grape juice, if it is fermented, we call the white wine or the red wine. So that is a asava. And arista, when the fermented decoction is prepared, so that is the arista. Then the sources of Ayurvedic drugs. So all these things available on this planet, they are used. Plant origin, cereals. Cereals we consume wheat, rice, maize, millets, jawar, bajra, so many cereals we consume as a staple food. But all these have the medicinal properties, like the pulses, they have medicinal properties. Vegetables, fruits, spices and condiments. All 32 or around 40 spices and condiments are very easily available in our kitchen. So they are serving as the best medicines, but unfortunately we don't know their properties. Then the beverages, all the beverages, tea, coffee, alcoholic drinks, they have been evolved as a medicine, but they are becoming the parts of the hospitality. Then the fumitories, dhumrapan, has mentioned in Ayurveda to treat several diseases of the lungs and cough and cold, and even controlling the brain, and even in the psychiatric disorders also. Then the masticatories, they were also evolved as a medicine, but we have developed the habits of consuming them. All the common plants we see in our surroundings, and the wild plants growing in the forest, then the gums and resins of most of the plants, almost all the plants, they have the medicinal properties. Then from the animal origin, pearls, moti bhasma, moktik bhasma is used in Ayurveda. Corals, that is pravar. The coral islands, they are formed because of the unity of the insects. So the corals, they are also used in medicine. Coral, pravar bhasma. Then the snails, shankha bhasma. Then the oyster shell, that is also used. Then the sarcoat, that is the when the animal extracts, they are used. Then the horns. Very well known example is unihorn, the rhinoceros, ek shingi genda. That horn costs 10 lakhs to 15 lakh depending on the size, and that is used in a medicine. The skull of many animals, they are used in the medicine. Then the nails, tiger nail is used in medicine, and one tiger nail cost 1 lakh rupees, more than 1 lakh rupees. Skin, dried skin of many animals, they are used in Ayurveda. Then the hair of many animals, they are burned preparing the bhasma, and they are administered along with the honey. Then the blood of many animals and the bird finds their use in the Ayurvedic treatment. If a person is suffering from a paralysis, the affected area is massaged with the blood of the pigeon. कबूतराचा रक्ताचा मसाज करतात. Then the excreta, animal waste, the excreta of elephant is massaged over body to get relief of the skin diseases. Urine, cow urine is best medicine, and many animals urine have different properties. the nails have been repeated. Then the bones, then the samudra veins, then the milk of different animals have been mentioned in Ayurveda, and they have different properties. And sometimes we go for the goat milk. Sometimes the donkey's milk is also given to the kids. Horse milk is also given to the kids. Then the curd, then the buttermilk, and the ghee and honey, they are also find their uses in the medicine. So these are the sources. Then the metal origin, yes, most of the precious metals, they are used in Ayurveda as a life-saving drug. Gold, Suvarna Bhasma, silver, Raupya Bhasma, copper, Tamra Bhasma, iron, Loha Bhasma. Loha Bhasma, Loha Sab is used to increase the hemoglobin in your body. Then the zinc is Jasata Bhasma, tin is Vanga Bhasma, and mercury finds this very important role in treating very deadly diseases. Then the lead, Naga. Naga Bhasma is used in Ayurveda. So the lead is, and some heavy metals like the arsenic and cadmium, they are also used in Ayurveda. And the mineral origins like the diamond, Hiraka Bhasma, that is also used. Shilajit. Shilajit is very well known mineral used in Ayurveda. If you want to be a Vaidya like me, you can. Because if you use only Shilajit, all the kinds of the diseases, they have been cured. It is a magic drug. Shilajit is the gum exudes of the rocks, and it contains about 86 minerals, fulvic acid and other minerals are there, and they improve the treatment, and they improve the efficacy of the drug along with which it is administered. So Shilajit fine powder is also available. Then the capsules of many companies they produce. Then the mica is also abrak bhasma. Then the marine and mineral salts. Then the sulfur, gandhak, arsenic trisulfide. Then cinnabar, that is hingul. Then real gar, that is manchila. Then the mandur iron ore oxide. Then the Ras Kapoor, that is the mercuric sulfide, is also known as the mineral camphor. All these are used in the Ayurveda. So let us see in a short the principles of Ayurveda. The steps in Ayurvedic therapy, I have mentioned you. Karana, Lakshana, Nidana, Upchar, cause, symptoms, diagnosis and treatment, that is there only in Ayurveda. If you go to any other practitioner rather than Ayurveda, if you are suffering from headache, the physician will administer the painkiller. But he will not consider what is the cause, what are the symptoms, and how to diagnose and how to treatment. If our Vaidya if a patient goes to Vaidya, then Vaidya considers what is the cause, ice cream खाए थे क्या खाए थे, किस वजह से हुआ. Then the headache is because of the pitta prakop or the kapha prakop. If there is a cough and cold, then also your head will suffer from a pain, a headache. Because of the increase of the pitta, there is also a headache. So the Ayurvedic Vaidya knows the actual cause, and he tried to remove the cause. He will never administer the medicine against that headache, but he will give you, suppose your headache is because of the pitta, he will administer the pitta shamak medicine, and ultimately your disease will be treated. But it takes long time because we have to remove the cause. And in allopathy, a painkiller will start action within 5 minutes, but it lasts for hardly 10 to 15 minutes or hardly half an hour, and then again you will suffer from the headache. So this is the Chatusutri steps in Ayurvedic. And second, cause of the disease is completely removed, so you will get the complete relief. Then before treatment, there is a Purva Karma and Pancha Karma undertaken, and after the treatment, there are Pashat Karma undertaken. So what are the Purva Karma? Vaidya suggest you the Deepan, Pachan, Snehan, Svedan. Then improve this. Deepan means improving appetite, Pachan means improving digestion, then Snehan applying oil or ghee. And it can be internal. So our Vaidya suggests you to drink 50 ml, 60 ml, 100 ml of pure cow ghee prepared by the method of traditional way. Then this something some medicated oil or some ghee or some oil he suggests for the massage for this external snehan, internal snehan by drinking the ghee. Then the Svedan promoting sweating by the steam bath. Then the Panchakarma, woman Virechana Basti Nasya and the Rakta Mokshan, woman is vomiting, Virechan is purgation, Basti is medicated enema, Nasya is inhaling or pouring medicine in the nose, and Rakta Mokshan if the blood is impaired in a particular part, so it has been removed from the affected part by applying the liches hirudinaria. So the principles, active principle is administered along with other ingredients of the medicinal plants. Whole plants or the plant parts are used to prepare medicine. Other ingredients of the plant parts help in digestion of active principle. In case of allopathy, only the active principle is isolated. But our Ayurvedic Vaidya is administering the ashwagandha churna, the root powder of ashwagandha. He asked to consume whole powder, 1 spoon of ashwagandha powder along with milk or different types of the media he suggests, because the ethanolites, we know the active principles. More than 1 dozen of the alkaloids are there. Then the ethanolites, more than 25 ethanolites have been separated, and in all there are 200 different phytochemicals have been reported. All these active principles have been separated, and the starch and the cellulose and proteins and others have been removed. Only the ethanolites have been administered, and that's why these extracts or these phytochemicals, they must be administered with a particular milligram. The dose is very defined, but in case of Ayurvedic drug, the little bit variation in the dose is acceptable, because the active ingredients, active principle is diluted in other starches and other sugars and proteins and the fibers and other parts, and these parts help in the digestion of this active principle. So jaggery and sugar is the example of allopathic treatment, because only sucrose and sucrose is left, nothing else. And in case of jaggery, not only sucrose is there, but certain salts are there, and some jaggery sometimes tastes very salty, because the salts of iron, salts of magnesium, salts of phosphorus, salts of calcium, so many salts are there, and the color is because of these salts. If iron salt is there, that gives you the reddish or brownish color, and that's why we have to consume the jaggery and not the sugar. Those who belong to the science faculty, they know that during the digestion of the sugar, EMP pathway is there, and the glucose is converted into pyruvic acid, and this pyruvic acid gives you the energy. And there are 2 atoms are required for the conversion of this glucose into the pyruvic acid, and that's why you will have to supply your body with the magnesium, and jaggery contains the magnesium salts, and that's why jaggery is digested. Sugar, if it is exceeded in the quantity, and if we are not supplied with the magnesium atoms, magnesium ions, then our body will be the deficient, and the excess amount of sugar will not be digested, will not be converted into pyruvic acid, and that is converted in the form of the glycogen, and the blood sugar will be increased. The sapota and its rin, all the ingredients which are essential for the digestion of the sugars of the sapota, chiku, they are there in the rinds. Unfortunately, we remove the rind of the fruits and then we consume. So all fruits must be consumed along with the rinds. Apple and its rind. Apple is a very important fruit. There is a proverb, an apple a day keeps doctor away, because most of the vitamins, most of the essential minerals and antioxidants, they are there in the apple. But you will get the benefit when you consume the apples along with their skin. Unfortunately, nowadays people, they apply a very thin layer of the wax over these apples for maintaining or increasing their shelf life, but that is harmful. So you will have to wash the apples in a soda or in a salt, and then you will have to remove the waxy layer, waxy coating, and rubbing with the help of the tissue paper, and then you will have to consume these apples along with its seed. Mango and its seed. When we were kids, we have to consume these mango kernels, mango seeds by roasting, and they have the ability to digest the mangoes, because mango is everyone's likely fruit. Is a very popular fruit. Everyone likes, and if we have consumed mangoes in very high quantity, so we suffer from the indigestion and other digestive trouble. Then, if you eat this mango kernel, either raw or roasted, you will get relief. So, the active principle, along with their digestive principles, are there in that plant only. So we have to utilize the whole plant along with these diluents. The active principle of medicinal plant should not be administered alone. Active principle diluted, hence the fluctuation in the dose may be accepted, I already mentioned. Active principle of the extract of medicinal plant should not be mixed with the chemicals to prepare gel, shampoo, creams, ointments, etc. Aloe, porphyr, aloe vera is used in the cosmetics for the skin and hair. Aloe gets oxidized within an hour, and oxidized aloe is not useful anyway. So oxidized aloe may react with the chemical preservatives added to prepare the gel, shampoos and creams, etc. So you will have to take care. As far as possible, you will have to use the fresh medicinal plants, fresh aloe. Asa and Arista, or the wines, generate alcohol, acid, etc., and they have congenerics. Congeneric means there are two parts. One is alcoholic part, another is congeneric part. Congeneric includes the proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, tannins, then the phenolics, saponins, then the pigments, color. A red wine contains the anthocyanin that protects your body, that protects your heart. So red wine is good for the heart patients, and the steroids. Congeneric react with each other. So all these groups of the chemical, they react with each other, and they also react with the alcohols, and how old they are, that is the important. And for years together, they are required for this reaction, and that's why the old wine cost very high. Most of the Ayurvedic drugs, they have shelf life, but there are no shelf lives for the Asava and Arist or the wines. The cost depends on how old they are. The chemicals added to the country liquor may be fatal if the chemicals react with the congenerics or the alcohols or acid. Intentionally, no one will add poison to the liquor. And we came across that certain person, they consumed the country liquor and they died because of this poisonous liquor. The poison is created because of the reaction of these congenerics if they are not taken care. Do not exploit the medicinal plant the allopathic way. Do not isolate any fraction of medicinal plants and test its activity or any assay. The drugs are derived from the medicinal plants, vegetable, fruits, spices, condiments, cereals, and pulses, minerals, and animals. They are mostly safe without side effect. But some of the very exceptional plant, they have side effects. If your treatment is based on the Jamal Gota, the strongest purgative on this planet, if your treatment is based, then definitely it has certain disadvantages, side effects. So it will remove water from your blood. Within 5 to 10 minutes, you will get dehydration, and lethalities may be there. And most of the medicinal plant crude drugs and the drugs have shelf life, except Asava and Arista. Fresh medicinal plants or the fresh preparations are highly effective. And I request all the participant to develop the herbal kitchen garden to utilize fresh medicinal plants. So then again, Anupan and the Patha, they are strictly followed. In case of Ayurveda, in case of allopathy, you take this medicine, go, whatever you want, you eat. Whatever you want to consume, you consume. But in case of Ayurveda, Vaidya suggests you that this is Anupan. So the Anupan is the medium in which the medicines are administered. Sometimes honey is administered, sometimes lukewarm water, sometimes urine is medium, sometimes the buttermilk is, sometimes milk, cow's milk is administered, sometimes a decoction, or even sometimes the alcohol is also suggested as a Anupan. Then the Pathya means the things, the food articles to consume, and Apatya, food articles to avoid. So Patha means we have to consume for the getting relief of our ailments or diseases. Okay. So I have given you the example. If the Anupan is changed, then the properties of the medicine are changed. I have cited one example, Ashwagandha Churna. It's very popular medicine. Ayurveda is a wonder drug of Ayurveda. And if it is administered along with the lukewarm, it works as a slimming. Then hot water, Hridayagat Vatrog, it treats. Warm milk, relieving constipation as a sex tonic. Milk and ghee, weakness, ghee plus sugar, insomnia, tuberculosis, catechol, pain, etc. Milk plus sugar, leukorrhea, the white discharge, our ladies suffer. Then sterility, amla juice, prameha, that is the diabetes. Amla juice plus licorice, that improves your vision. Then if it is administered along with the honey plus ghee, but here we have to keep in mind that one should be double than the other. If honey is 1 spoon, then ghee should be 2 teaspoons full. So one should be double. If they are consumed in equal quantity, they are proved to be poisonous for the rejuvenation. Honey plus amrita extract rasayan, cow urine swelling with pain, asparagus powder plus honey plus ghee, vata rog, arthritis, rheumatism, etc. Vibhitak, that is the marking nut plus jaggery, cardiac pain. Then the soap chini plus root decoction, vata rakta. If it is consumed along with the buttermilk, is proved to be antidote to the poison in kettles. Cow milk plus puraria is a tuberous root plus sweet root, that is glycyrrhiza, is a lactogague for the mothers who are breastfeeding to their babies. Then the Siddha Telam is used for the massage. I am giving you one example of the Pathya and Apathya for the cough and cold, because that is a very common disease. Pathya, you will have to consume only hot water, kernels of marking nut, that is Bibachi Godambi, then the roasted horse, ram, that is Putane, then the chicken soup, mutton soup, fish, eggs, honey, ginger, roasted garlic, alcoholic drinks, etc. They have to be consumed. And Apatya, cold water, curd, banana, guava, custard apple, cucumber, onion, ice cream, cold drinks, fried and oily foods, etc. Then what is the health concept? I will explain in short. It is mentioned in Ayurveda that dosha dhatu malang mulam hi shariram, means a person is healthy if his doshas, if the dhatus and the mala, if they are in a balanced state, your body will be healthy. So what are the doshas? There are 3 dosha, vata, pitta and kapha. Vayuha, pittam, kapascheti, trayo dosha, samahasataha. So what is vata? It's a gaseous, dry, rough, lightweight, microscopic and movable, and it is colorless. It originates below the navel in the body, and if it accumulates excess in the joints, leads to the arthritis, rheumatism, etc. If decreases, results in malfunctioning of the body as it involves in circulation. The next is dosha is pitta, that is liquid, slightly oily, heat generative, lightweight, expandable, very bitter, active, bad odor, yellow color. It originates from the navel to the heart. If it is exceeds, results in the headache, vomiting, temperature, and uneasy. And if it is less in your body, definitely that also causes certain troubles for this digestion and others. Kapha is a solid, oily, soft, sticky, heavy, cold, whitish, slow in action, and it originates heart onwards. If it is exceeds, results in cough and cold. If decreases, results in dryness, pain in joints, etc. Next is the dhatu. Rasa, Ashranga, Masa, Medo, Asti, Manja, Shukrani, Dhatu. These are seven dhatus mentioned in Ayurveda. Ras, Rakta, Mas, Med, Asti, Manja, and Shukra. Ras is a gastric juice ready to be absorbed by the intestine and villi. It's considered as the digested food which is ready to be absorbed by the intestinal villi is considered a part of our body. And this rasa, if it is increased, there is a dysentery. If the rakta, that is the blood, it should be in a balanced state. Hemoglobin should be in a balanced state. The amount of blood in your body should be around 5.5 to 6.5 liters. Then it should not be less than, and it should not be more than its required quantity. Then the masa is a flesh and muscle. Then the meda is fats, asti is bones, majja is nervous system, and the shukra is mucosa, including the semen. So all these seven dhatus must be in a balanced state. So vata, pitta, kapha should be in a balanced state. All these dhatus, rasa, tamasve, asti, majja, shukra should be in a balanced state. Then the mala, the mutra, the urine, the purish, the etc., the sweat, ashru, etc. Not and the nasastra, this nasal secretion. Even ashru, they are important. Tears. If you are controlling your tears, definitely you will suffer from certain mental disorders. And not only all these dosha, dhatu, mala should be in a balanced state, but only sound body is not enough for the maintaining good health, but sound mind is also required. Sound mind in sound body. Ayurveda has given more importance to the प्रसन्नात्म इंद्रिय मन. हम अगर हैप्पी रहेंगे, खुश रहेंगे, हमारा मन अच्छा रहेगा, हम खुश रहेंगे, तो ही हमारा बॉडी अच्छा रहेगा. सो ऑल दिस dosha dhatu mala body and this mind is also should be required in a balanced state. So be fresh, be positive, be optimistic, and be satisfied for maintaining your health. So there are important contributions of Diodas Dhanvantari, a king of Kashi. Then the Bharadwaja, the fellow, compiled this compilation of the treatment, the experiences of the different Rishis. Then the Atreya, he was a very famous professor at Takshashila University. Then Charak was very famous for this herbal formulation. So she was the world first plastic surgeon. And Vaidya Jivaka, Bhante Jivaka, he was a physician of Tathagat Buddha. Then Vagbhat, he has compiled very popular book, Sanhita, Ashtanga Hriday, Ashtanga Sangraha, and Bhante Nagarjun. He was knowing the art of converting one metal into the another. And once there was a scarcity of the foods and the money, then he has converted all the iron in his school and converted to gold and sold, and he could survive the school. So we have developed certain herbal formulations, and I am showing you some of the very some of we have developed so many products, but some of these, this is Ayurveda Ayura Ubtan premium soap. This soap is prepared from the Ubtan. Not only we sell this Ubtan during only the Diwali session, but throughout the year. This is aloe vera gel. So this gel is very safe, and you have maintained the aloin and imodin in this. This is a special aloe vera gel other than the market. And we also developed one D-tan cream from the extract of avocado of fruits. It is so costly, but it is very effective. And the scars of the acne and pimples and the tanning has been removed within 1 or 2 weeks. So the black spots, they fade within 1 or 2 weeks. So guaranteed this cream, we treat this. Then our very famous product is Arhat Treat joint pain oil. It is sold used as a magic pain relieving oil, and it is used for anything, any rheumatism, arthritis, joint pain, muscle pain. There is a strain, कंबरदुखी, मानदुखी, कुठे लचकलं मोरगलं कशासाठी ते चालतं is very important and very popular product. Ayura hair oil. Ayura is name of my daughter and Arhat is name of my son. And we have also developed this henna based hair color, black and brown. And my wife, Dr. Archana, is Arvind Dhabe, is the director of our company, Dhabe Herbals Private Limited. So I end my lecture with this: Ayuha kame mamena dharmartha sukha sadhanam ayurvedopadesheshu videya paramadara. Those who wish to enjoy happy and healthy life, including Chaturvid Purusharthas, that is Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha, then they should be eager to know the things mentioned in Ayurveda and prompt to follow. So I suggest all of you one book, Sarth Vagbhat कृत अष्टांग हृदय व त्याचे मुळासह संपूर्ण मराठी भाषांतर. This is published in all languages, not only all Indian languages, but in all languages of the world. It is translated into a Deutsch language, it is translated into French language, it is translated into Russian language, it is translated into Chinese and many other languages of the world. So I am thankful to you. Unfortunately, there was a trouble, some technical issue was there, so I could not read you very detail. So I'm thankful to the course coordinator, Professor Madhuri Sawan Madam, for giving me this opportunity. We are the Ayurveda Pracharak and we are the consultant. If you need any information regarding the medicinal plant, regarding Ayurveda, regarding the properties, phytochemistry of any medicinal plant, don't hesitate to contact me. I am available at this Department of Botany, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. So through this lecture, I could introduce Ayurveda, and that is one of my duty. And we arrange the exhibitions of the medicinal plants in the villages and in the schools, and we deliver popular lectures in the villages for our rural ladies. And so Madhuri Madam has helped achieving our goal to spread the knowledge of Ayurveda. So I request all the teachers to set the syllabi based on this Ayurveda. And if you need any help, definitely you are most welcome. Thank you all the participants also for your patience listening. It's a time of 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I request the participants to please formally give vote of thanks. As sir wants to leave early, so we will not go for question answer session. Though anybody is having questions? No, sir, we don't have any questions.
Very good.
Yeah.
Can I
Yes,
go,
yes, please.
Very good evening, one and all. Good evening to respected resource person. On behalf of participants as well as organizers, we thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to extend my heartful gratitude to our esteemed resource person for delivering such a insightful as well as thought-provoking lecture. Your words have enriched our understanding and opened new prospect on subject. I sincerely thank you, sir, on behalf of university as well as all participants, and we thank you. And as well as this lecture is very good, sir. Actually, I don't have any questions. I asked many questions to many resource persons, but your explanation, but you have limit time, but you explained all the points, sir. You consider all the points, you explained what you want to say, sir. And first you started with sloka. That one is wonderful, sir. You are the first person who gave, before starting that one. So what your forefathers and other people, what they have done in that field, the same thing you started with them. It touched my heart and it is very good, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I pray for your good health and long, happy and healthy life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.